Show, where it's all about your top four and nothing more. Andy, 1,020. How does that sound?
That sounds 20 more than 1,000.
Yeah, that's how many subscribers we had
correct.
this morning when I went and looked. We're not flying out of here like crypto is, but hey, you know, we're rocking. We got some people joining. But I will say this: hey, Kevin in the house, my buddy Kevin. Yeah, and real life perspective. That is Sean in the house. Sean, my 3D guy. And who else is there? We got a couple other people. Say hello. Today we are chatting it up, man, with some of our favorite friends, our cartoon buddies, and we're in the food. But until we get into food, explain kind of what we're doing today, let's talk convention.
Yes.
Look, I'm rocking the Louisiana RetroCon because we met up with Davey this week, and the new one has been announced, and there it is. Louisiana RetroCon is coming February 1st and 2nd. You know, we are going to be there. We're going to be live and in there, and hopefully we'll be emceeing it like we were planning on. It's now in the Lamar Dixon Center over in Gonzales. And, man, what a blast we had this weekend hanging out with Davey. And, man, I think we should show a couple things, what we got at the Collector's Cup.
Yes.
What do you think?
Show and tell, man. I love it. I feel like I'm
show and tell. You want to go first? Go first.
Sure, yeah. So I switched it up this time, and I went to normally I'm buying video games, specifically N64 stuff, but I switched it up, and I went to one of our friends, Brian, over at, and I always get this wrong, at BK Toys, not KB Toys, right? BK Toys.
BK.
And I did have it my way because he had a bunch of Attitude Era wrestling figures that were just loose, and they were $1 a piece. So I'm going to show I got X-Pac right there. Some of these face molds are hilarious. So Rock, look at the Rock's face. Can you see that? Look at what in the world happened to his eyes. So you got Rock. This is another funny face mold. Looks like a senior citizen, Billy Gunn right here. Stone Cold. This is a really cool one because he's got the vest and everything and the jorts. Stone Cold. Got Taker, Undertaker. There he is. Check that guy out. Yeah, menacing. Jeff Hardy. Picked up Jeff Hardy, one of my favorites. If you've watched this, we've talked wrestling quite a bit. Continuing the DX.
Hold on. Oh, you're not done. Keep going.
Oh, yeah. Continuing this, I've got Road Dogg right here. Check that out. He's awesome. I had to get Gold Dust because he's just fun, right? Get Gold Dust in there. Got the signature on the leg. That's whatever series that one was. Gangrel from the Brood, right? We got him. And then probably my most controversial one that I picked, not only because of obviously in large part because of who he is, but this face mold. This is fun.
Kevin, where you at?
Chris Benoit. Look at Chris Benoit.
Yes.
Yeah. It's a cool figure because it's like fully posed. I mean, everything. It's pretty crazy. But yeah, so I had to get the Chris Benoit. But look at the face, man. What is he doing? Anyway. Well, that's a couple things there. I got a few more. My daughter.
Hold on. Flip it to me.
Yeah.
Cannon also went to BK. Brian, shout out to you. And he then lowered the price to $3 for $1. Well, no, $4 for $1. $4 for $1.
Should have waited till Sunday.
And we bought 12 of them. We got the Flair. We got the whole Brood. You got a Gangrel. We got Gangrel and Christian. He got Kofi. He got a Rikishi, which is really cool. Rikishi actually had like a Hawaiian shirt on. He got Dude Love, Mick Foley. Here's a controversial one for you. You have Benoit. He got Mr. McMahon. Mr. McMahon. Kurt Angle, you suck. And then he actually got Stone Cold. The Rock, and so he has 3 more: Stone Cold, The Rock, and
You get Kane?
no, Undertaker. He got Undertaker, Stone Cold, Rock, and the Undertaker were the other 3 that he got. Last minute, he purchased this. Now there was 2 of them. This is the Blue Ranger Leonardo combo, and he came with Donatello as the Black Ranger as well. Really cool Power Ranger amalgamation with the Turtles. That was Cannon's. That was some of Cannon's pickups. What's another pickup you got?
So
Hammie and Son, Kenneth Bird in the house.
Still from BK Toys, he threw this in there. This little picture here, Stone Cold.
Dude, that's killer sweet. That's killer.
Hands of you know what. But yeah, so I got that. My daughter got me. There's like a table at the front, the info table, where they have door prizes that they do like every hour. And for whatever reason,
door prizes.
She thought I needed a cape that's like Mandalorian and stuff. It's a cape. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. It's going to be in the background here at some point. We'll do that. Yeah. And then lastly, I went to an artist alley, and we talked about this actually with I think Mark was on the show. Somebody was on the show. We were talking about zombie flicks, and I saw this, and this is my favorite zombie movie of all time. And I got the print, and it's Return of the Living Dead, right? It's a really cool print. It's signed by him right here. It's kind of hard to see with the lighting and stuff, but it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Return of the Living Dead. I like the punk rock zombies, and it's a good movie. So that's my pickups that I got.
A couple crossovers. I believe these were also a door prize, but from the same guy, right? And there are these 3 little prints of Dr. Doom, which is going to be a big movie coming soon. And then Spidey, and this looks like the Ruffalo Hulk. But yeah, there it is. And then he also door prize. Cannon's got more door prizes than anybody. And so here is a West Coast Avengers pretty cool poster he snatched up. He also, over at BK, got him a Randy Savage plush. This is a pretty cool plush. Another kind of door prize. This was from our buddies over at Peloton. Speaking of Peloton, we're trying. We're gonna be a part of Peloton this year. And worst case scenario, Andy might have to do it himself because it's the weekend right before Louisiana RetroCon. So they're going back to back and not too far from each other. Peloton, and he was giving away the greatest comic books ever, and it says Marvel Voices on the front. He's like, Dad, man, it's full of pride, and on the back, there you go. Yeah. And I was like, I don't think that's the same thing you think it is, son. But yeah, that's cool. Ghostbusters gave him a cool. Gosh, I turned the light down a little bit, but this is a little color sheet that he's supposed to color and send a picture in or something. It's pretty cool. Ghostbuster. We met what's his name?
Scott Ennis.
Cardenas? Steve. Anyways, he didn't want to be on the show. I kind of think it's because we had Austin St. John already. And, Austin and him, Austin left because of contract disputes, and this is the guy that replaced him. So, but there he is right there. And Cannon is the king of getting free stuff. He just walked up and he's like, oh, yeah, just take a picture. Charging everybody else $20 a pop, but go ahead, have one. And he gave him that. And I'm going to save this other one for later. But here's our buddy Joe Mexican. This is Origin Issue 2. So we already have Origin Issue 1. This is Part 2. And he's got a new one coming out called Gator. This is going to be Baton Rouge's first comic book character. Cannon got a whole bunch of packs. Real life, where you at? You still out there? We got a whole bunch of packs of cards to open. Gremlins, Nolan Ryan, Dinosaurs Attack, Plasm, Dark Dominion, all these cool, like, random stuff. We're going to rip them over there on Cannon's page. Hook, here's a classic, right? Nintendo with the scratch-off. Dude, we got a whole bunch of those. And then last but not least, you've got something that I want to share. So Cannon got a couple pops. Oh, my boy's over at Bayou Geek Collectibles. He's been on the show before. He is our pop guy, and we went over there and like, hey man, what you got? I was really looking for a Darth Vader Rogue One. Darth Vader, by the way, Rogue One. Spencer Wilding. Man, what an amazing guy this guy is. He's from the UK. Australia is what I thought it was, but I think he's from the UK, Wales, actually. And he came over and just was an amazing guest. And he, come to find out, is a man of the cloth, if you will. He loves the Lord. And he's like, one of the reasons I'm still doing all this is because God had a better path for me. Once he found out we were like Christians, he's like, I'm going to do a spot for you for free. So he does this spot for us. It'll be coming out soon. He gave us his top 4 movies that he's ever played in, which are a bunch. He's played in like 50. But what are the pops? So he didn't have the Darth Vader pop. So Andy, we go over there shopping. Cannon is picking up a Venom pop, right? And he wants to purchase another pop. So he bought the Randy Savage pop to go with the stuffy. But of course, you know, Dustin over there, our guy, he's like, bro, you're looking at that. You've been wanting it. Cannon, you can have it. Like, I don't know what's I'm never buying anything anymore for him. I'm just going to have him walk around and keep picking stuff up till they give it to him. And then I got a cool pop. Now I got to show that pop. Yeah. So last year during the Chiefs playoff run, Eagles lose out. Jason Kelsey shows up. He takes off his shirt. He has a great whatever. And they design a pop after it. I had to have it. And Dustin hooked us up. So show those up for those 3 pops.
Yeah. So as you said here, Macho Man. Oh, yeah.
So Andy's got the pops because we're driving in and I didn't feel like flying them in and ruining them.
Yeah. So we got that. You got this one's cool. This is Venom with the comic behind him. That's
the one that they hooked him up and gave for free.
And then, as you just mentioned, shirtless Jason.
Look at that bad boy. Now it says 75. Here's the cool thing: I got all 3 of those for 60. So I got
also
3 of those for 60.
I totally forgot because he was sitting down here. Last second purchase that I made, $5. We talked about this in our fast food toys, but I found the Darth Maul Taco Bell cup topper.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which we talked about actually with BK.
Yeah. So that was really cool. Anyway, that's a ton of stuff that we got.
I want to do one more thing before we get out because this is our guy. So that Batman actually gave that to Cannon. Come to find out, they were printing them somewhere around, selling them for like $5. He got that for free too, just by like, hey man, I like that Batarang. But yeah, so 7 people in the chat. We're gonna get to in a second. Here is I guess I'll turn it this way. So here is a cool delivery, I guess. Our buddy over at Fave 5 from Fans, that's a mouthful. His name's Jamie. Jamie's been on the show. We've been on their show. He wasn't at this convention, but he usually has a booth and has some conventions. He just hit, 10,000 downloads, 100,000 downloads, something on his podcast. It's crazy good. And he messaged us all out and he said, hey, what's your address? So I'm opening it up right now. It's the first time I'm looking at it. He sent over some of his favorite stickers. So here's one. All these are Fave 5 from Fans stickers. And same one. This one's cool. Do you have this one, Andy?
Yes. Yeah, I think he sent me the same ones. Yeah. Look at that.
That one. Fave 5 from Fans. This one's cool. Little dead spot. Yeah. Zombie Squad. That one's awesome.
There it is.
Yeah. And then I think this one's your favorite, huh? Fave 5 from Fans.
favorite one that he does. Look at that. Simple, but it's super cool.
Dude, that's just cool.
Love that.
And then last but not least, I participated. I love that. I love that. I participated. And then it says fave five ways to say thank you. Gracias, some language I don't know. Kikos, some other language I don't know. Thank you. We appreciate your support. And hey, look, everybody, go follow Jamie over at Fave 5 from Fans. That's him right there. Tell him where you've heard from him. I don't know who sent you. Tell him who sent you. All right, let's get to our show, man. 7 folks, Duel of the Tacos. I hope it was the meal deal with the cup topper. So he just got the top though, not the bottom, no cup.
But fits cups, which is cool.
But hey, let's say hello because that's a guy I don't see all the time here, but I do love him. Francisco Ruiz. You'll probably hear the name Roy sometime today from our friends. But Francisco is retro. Show that off.
It can fit on other cups.
Retro Rewind podcast.
Also,
Retro Rewind, we is one of those ones we mention up there in the culture box that we mention every week. We mention one of those guys, and he's the guy. Francisco is the guy. Sorry, Roy, that is named not Roy, but he does the Junkyard Juggernauts, and that will be coming out soon. And once that does, I want him to make a commercial spot so we can be playing it halfway every week until he reaches his goals. So just like what we normally do at the halftime, we'll throw that one in there too. With just love for him and everything he's done for us. So we'll pop that in there once he makes us a little commercial. Barry in the house. Hello, Mountain Men. Yes, we're here, just like West Virginia, huh? The Mountain Men. All right. Hammie and Son will be on in 3 weeks. Next week, Andy, our whole family is going to be on.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, that's the plan. We still haven't really talked them all into it, but yeah, they're all going to be on. And Kenneth Bird, man, good to see you once again. Kenneth Bird, we finally gave away all of those pops. They're all gone finally. And we got to start over with some new giveaways. I'm loving these stickers. We got to come up with some more stickers, bro. We got to come up with some more stickers. But hey, let's get into the show. So today, food. We're in the months of food, Andy. I know you love food. I love food. I've gained a lot of weight over the last few months. I keep thinking, well, January's not too far away. I'll start a new resolution. That's always what I do in the fall. Like, I'm not going to start yet. But we're talking food. And this food we technically can't eat, but we can sure fantasize about it and what it might taste like. Because we got our cartoon buddies on, our animated friends, Celcast, and we're going to talk animated foods. Very unique topic. What do you think about animated foods, Andy?
I'm excited about this, and we've talked about this, and we'll probably mention it some. Some of these foods and cartoons I've craved more than real food before. And I think part of this
we'll talk a little bit about. I don't know that I've craved it like that. But every video I watch, they said they crave it. So interesting.
Yeah, you're not watching TV the right way, or like I do.
Okay. Let me see what Francisco's saying. Laugh out loud. The more weight you gain, the greater amount you can lose. I love that. That's great. So I can break my record of loss. I love that. I love that. And okay, look, Andy.
No, didn't
Argentina cry when you left.
I sung to them and I said, "Don't cry for me, Argentina." That's what I said. Don't cry for me, Argentina.
All right, man, let's get into this thing. Let's get our boys up here. Let's get our show going. Our culture box friends. We don't get them all the time, but when we get them, we love them, man. And here we go. So our Rushmore of animated foods, cartoon foods. Let's go. Let's freaking go. Do it. Why is it not clicking? There it is.
There we go.
There it is. So let's welcome our friends. So, guys, we mention Culture Box all the time. Culture Box is, and we'll do a commercial spot here. Since Celcast is here, we'll probably do Retro Rewind because he was just in the chat. But these are our guys that basically we started watching. I started watching them for sure before we did podcasting. Which was a little bit of the inspiration was watching these guys introduced to us via other Christian podcasters, some of them that are even in Culture Box, like Geek Devotions. And we just love following, playing video games, watching movies, TV, and whatnot. And Celcast is a part of the crazy group. We've been on their show two or three times, and this is their third or fourth time they're coming over this direction. But we love to have them. Welcome to the show, our buds, Drew and Jacob. And welcome to Cel Cast Podcast.
What's up?
Hey,
what's up, people?
And assuming you're still, hi, Roy.
Hi, Roy.
They said it. I did.
For everybody that's out there, let me just out there. Okay, for everybody that's out here, I just got to explain the running joke. And I know where this
it's all my fault.
It's true, totally.
Yeah, so I've been following for probably about 3 years now. I mean, I was lurking for quite some time before I even said hello. But there is a running joke that Drew throws out there every time in a live podcast that Francisco's name is Roy. And it catches a lot more traction because Francisco hates nicknames.
He does hate it.
He hates it so
nicknames. He hates being called anything but Francisco.
Oh.
Not Frank, not Fran, not Francis, not San Francisco, and definitely not Roy.
Yeah.
Which
do you want to know how the Roy thing got started specifically?
And you've told this story, so go ahead and I've heard it. Go ahead.
I was guest starring on his Retro Rewind podcast episode for
Quigley Down
Under. Thank you. And if you remember, the young lady in that keeps calling Quigley Roy throughout the whole thing. Yeah. So when we started that, my introduction on that, when he introduced me, I said, "Well, howdy, Roy," and then I just kept calling him that throughout the rest of the episode.
And it just stuck on our show.
And I kept doing it, and I kept doing it. Mostly, I only do it now when he's being. Well, he's being
Francisco?
Roy. When he's being Roy. He's actually being a Roy. When he is being particularly persnickety, that's when I call him Roy, just to put him back in his place.
I would say this
it's not fair that he only gets to type.
Well, Francisco said it, but I was going to say this. If your name's Francisco, like I wouldn't want a nickname either. I mean, that's a unique name. That is
I agree. It's a very unique name.
And Drew. Now I know we got Drew here.
The funny thing is where I work, there's another guy named Francisco. So now that guy is Francisco, and this Francisco is just Roy in my head now.
What are your Rushmore of Roys? I see that Barry did something.
Oh yeah, Patrick Roy, I like that. Roy G. Biv, that's great.
Yeah.
Roy Rogers.
Roy Orbison and Roy Rogers. Okay.
Roy City Royals.
Oh,
does that count? Does that count?
Anyway,
well, that's not the topic.
That's not the topic.
Yeah, that's not what we're here to talk about.
Because I mean, Francisco Royese would be the top of that list anyway.
Exactly.
As much as I love Francisco, he does have very strong opinions to where it can be fun to kind of do
just
that.
A little bit.
As long as he knows that we're always just having fun. And my favorite is whenever I see Celcast in there, I know that there's some time it's coming where it's going to get him on a little tilt. So. Anyway,
like I say, when he's being persnickety.
Hilarity that happens over at their shows, Retro Rewind, Celcast. It's just a good community. If you guys want to be a part of the community, by all means, go and follow these guys. You guys all have wrenches. Go and find them, Celcast, and we talk about it every break. So we'll mention it a little again up at the. We'll throw one of the commercials up halfway through. But let's get to talking about you, Jacob, and Drew. But Jacob, last time you were here, I think, or the last time we were kind of going back and forth, you had not been married yet. And so
no, I hadn't.
Congratulations. Jacob has been betrothed, and he is now taken off the market for all of the suitors. So congratulations.
Meanwhile, I'm still available, ladies.
Holla at your boy. Come on.
Holla at your boy.
You know you want
1-800 CELCAST.
Oh, there's only one L, but sure.
Oh my word.
Congratulations on that. Tell
Thank
our
you.
friends where they can find you, what you got going on right now, what is the series you might be in, or what direction you're going to end the year.
Well, let's see. You can find me obviously on Facebook, Jacob B. Herron. That's HERON, like the bird, not the fish.
Thanks.
And you can find, I do art. I'm a local artist. I do comic art, pop art, what have you. I like to do if you want commissions, I'm your guy. Hook me up. Let me know. Like an artist on all platforms for the most part. Just look up lycanthropy, lichen artist.
Like a werewolf, because he barks.
Like a werewolf, because I have Tourette's disorder and it's just playing into it. But it's you can find me there. I'm working on projects here and there. I'm trying to get more locally known as an artist, or more nationally known as an artist. But other than that, I've been working on a web comic for about 20 years. I'm not going to go into detail about it, but this is a passion project I've been doing for years. And I'm hoping to get it out next year, hopefully. I'm not the greatest writer, but I love to draw. So that's something I've been doing. Other than that, I was being married for 5 months. Hi, Ashley. Love you. Other than that, it's, life's good. Life's good. Life can be frustrating, but praise the Lord, I'm still here.
Amen. All right.
Amen. Now, all the single ladies. All right. It's your turn. What is going on with the Celcast?
Celcast. Well, back up, restart. Celcast, where we review animated movies and television shows. Right now, movie wise, we are just finishing up tomorrow night, I should say, Miyazaki month, as we're going through a bunch of not Miyazaki specifically, because tomorrow night's just a Ghibli film. But we're doing Studio Ghibli films all month long.
Nice. Which is perfect for this week.
Exactly. It started off here because the first year we were doing the podcast, we timed it out where My Neighbor Totoro was the last movie of the month, which was right after Grave of the Fireflies. And we were all very thankful for finishing off on Totoro, because it was much more fun.
Yes.
But, and then we just started on our TAS segment, our animated series segment, as we do both movies and television shows. Going through Batman the Animated Series. In fact, Roy was just on our last episode, so go check that out. Also, I'm streaming on Monday nights most of the time, mostly cartoon games, so you can check that out on the Celcast Gaming Twitch channel and our Facebook and all that other kind of good stuff too.
Nice.
Yeah.
Hey, everybody, Francisco he said he's got to go eat dinner and he's going to catch up on 2 times speed later. So I'm proposing that we speak half speed. So that even if he goes 2 times.
I hope you're enjoying this, Roy.
Well, hey, look, say hello. Joseph Oliver is in the house. So he says,
he found us.
This is the podcast y'all talk about. Okay, cool.
Actually, Joseph, no. This is not our podcast.
This is not their podcast.
Our show is the Celcast.
This is actually a cool podcast that you can hang out, though, as well.
Yes. Just hang out with these guys too. They're just as cool as we are.
So I'm glad I'm not in charge of editing this episode. Well, here's the good news, Geek Devotions. We don't edit anymore. So it's live and we're hanging out. And then we just
hard drive.
So here's the deal. Thanks for that. Celcast is awesome. We've been on the show. We did some shorts while Jacob was getting married for
total. I think y'all have been on 3 episodes.
We also did one of the coolest movies of all time, Kangaroo Ninjas, right? Yeah. I mean,
yes. Mighty Morphin Rangeroos.
And then we did, what else was the other one we did? Oh, we did a Christmas special or something, didn't we? No, that was Retro Rewind. What did we do? What was the other one we did?
I'm trying to remember what the third one is. I think y'all been on 3. It may only been 2.
I don't remember. So thanks, Geek Devotion, saying hi from the border. Yeah, and that's great. So
the other one was the Herron hiatus episode where we did
right. So we did the 2
Boundin and Lava.
Yep. So
we could give this guy a month off.
Yeah, and again, I seriously want to thank you guys for coming on and. Droy, for some reason I call him Droy. Drew over here be like graciously.
Drew plus Roy. Okay.
What it sounds like.
Yeah. But Drew over here, Drew graciously over here sent me the audio file where it's just the thank you from everybody. So I played that to Ashley and she was very touched by it, even though she didn't know any of you guys.
By the way, Ashley says that.
Hi, Ashley. Love you.
Hi, Ashley. I promise I'll
love
get
you, Ashley. Anyways, let's get started. So we're going to do animated food. Interesting topic. When I first heard it, you guys were like, hey, let's do what foods you want to eat. And I was sitting there thinking, man, I cannot think of, I can think of a whole bunch of animated foods, but it came from this. It came from this idea. The Miyazaki films are really amazing with the artistry of this. And it just makes it look like almost better than Ezra, right? Like better than what it should be. And honestly, I was like, okay, this is going to be hard because I have to really go and think which ones I really want to eat. And then I went and watched a couple videos, and almost every video of somebody that was doing a ranking of this was talking about that same thing. Like they wanted to eat them, or as a little kid, when they saw it, they wanted it. And why isn't it not real or something like that? And I just kept going. And I finally found one that it just was like flat out iconic, memorable, those kind of things. And then once that happens, my light bulb went off and I started on a run. So now it's your turn. So we didn't pick who was first. We didn't do that, which we usually do.
No.
Who wants to go first?
It's either Jacob or Drew. So.
Oh, you want me to go first?
Yeah, go.
Okay, then.
Okay, so Drew, you're gonna go. You're gonna go first. So, as we always do around this time, what is the criteria? What were you thinking when you built the list? We always talk about our criteria on the first one, so it lets our audience know kind of what are we actually trying to build here, and because all of our things can be a little different, and then we'll go on from there.
So when I first was making up this list, I literally was listing like every food I could think of that I'd ever seen in a cartoon or an anime.
Wow.
As much as I could remember. But I think I maxed out at about 20 total that actually I felt made sense. So when I then started kind of shuffling the list, trying to make decisions. And I eventually went with, these are the things that sounded so good that they stuck in my mind for after that point. Like literally most of these, there were things I came up with in the first 5 minutes of thinking of this list. So yeah. These are the most memorable foods I've seen in cartoons and anime. Yeah. So yeah, that's
absolutely
where mine's coming from.
We're going to start off with our Rosie, number 4. Drew, you're going to give us yours. So, line in the sand, how do we start our list? How do you start your list?
Way back in the year 2005, there was a show on Cartoon Network called Codename Kids Next Door.
Okay. Okay.
Have y'all heard of the show?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, so there was, it's about a team of 5 kids basically doing James Bond missions against evil adults, and it runs on Kid Logic. So there was an episode specifically titled Operation Flavor, or Find Lost Ancient Variety of Refreshment. Yeah, all the episodes are acronyms. And in this episode, we're told about the flavors of ice cream. There's vanilla, you got chocolate and strawberry, but there's a mysterious 4th flavor that has never been tasted in the annals of kiddom. And the 4th flavor is kind of where I went and started this.
Nice.
And since this is kind of the 4th none on the list, I kind of had to stick it at number 4 because that's just how my brain works.
That's fitting. That's fitting.
So, yeah, I started with the 4th flavor is the way they drew this ice cream in this episode. They literally tried to, when they do find it, because they do eventually find the mythical 4th flavor of ice cream. And they drew this thing like it was the ice cream of the gods. Somehow they drew this thing where it was gold colored, but it still looked like it was edible, if that makes sense. It didn't look like it was metallic. It just looked like it was golden colored. It looked good enough that I was very hungry after eating it, after seeing it. If you've never seen the episode, I really suggest going and checking out, because even if you don't know the rest of the show, check that. The 4th flavor looked like it was something I wish I could have tasted, because I have no idea what it tastes like, but it sounds like it'd be good.
Yeah.
So yeah, the 4th flavor is my first one. Is my Rosie.
It looks delicious, and you're right in saying that it's gold without looking metallic. So as I'm Googling, I'm looking at this. I don't know if you guys have ever watched the guy Binging with Babish. Have you ever seen his stuff where he makes food from TV, movies?
Oh, yeah.
Cartoons? And apparently, and I can't find it in here, but people keep saying that he was going to make whatever this flavor is. So
yeah, because we don't know what it tastes like.
Yeah.
It would
They kept it mysterious.
be interesting to find that. But yeah, this is a great pick. I did not, as large as my list is, this did not make it. I'll say this: 2005, I was, there's great cartoons, but it was kind of like I was too old for that at that time. Like, it was that weird time of like end of high school time or whatever, and I was like not watching that stuff. When really now looking back at it, it would be awesome. Like, my kids watch Phineas and Ferb now, but it was in that window of time that I wasn't really. I was like too cool for it, or I was thinking I was too cool for it, or whatever, or whatever it may be. But having seen some of these episodes, it is a really cool show. And,
and you may have said this, but I only seen. I know this show obviously, and I did not watch the show, but I know that it has a great following. Did you mention that the gold one didn't have a name?
It's never named.
Okay,
it's
so
just called the 4th flavor.
I see that it's like on the top of like a 4 scoop, and it's like the very top, like Neapolitan, and then boom. Of course, that's why it's gold.
Yeah, it's only really mentioned in this episode and in the movie that finished out the show.
And does it mention ever what it tastes like?
No. It's meant to be mysterious.
Look,
it's always meant to be like, this is the mysterious 4th flavor that we cannot describe. Actually, I take that back. I think in the movie Operation Zero, they do kind of explain what it is, but it's one of those things where it's supposed to like taste different to everyone.
Nice. All right, that's a good pick. I see that Dallas came in and he said, if the Breakfast of Howl's Moving Castle doesn't make someone's list, he's going to riot. So, yeah.
Okay. So I can tell you right now, it's not making my list. I'm sorry. But Joseph, this is to you guys. So Joseph says, it's so cool to see you guys on a podcast. How cool. So are these the guys y'all usually hang out with, or is this a special thing? I'll jump in just
a little of both.
Joseph, we're in the same group of friends that kind of we kind of promote each other just because we have like-minded interests. We share each other's show. We always, you're here at the Rushmore Show, and on the Rushmore Show, we have a guest every week, and we do topics in the geek world, mainly movies and TV, food, video games, sports, and music. And so with that being said, whenever we come across something that's in the cartoon world, we invite our friends from them over from the Celcast over here, which is Drew and Jacob's space. And they review animated films and older movies and things like that. So this is just kind of a mixture of the two podcasts. But we always have a guest, and they often have a guest on their show. So you may see us over there and vice versa. Exactly. Anything you wanted to say back to him, Joseph? To guys?
It has been a very long time since we've seen you, Joseph, and we do miss you. So, yeah. Next time you're back in town, give us a holler.
Yeah, I saw him very oddly at work because he walked in like, oh, little Joseph, how are you?
Yeah, we call him little Joseph
because
there's another friend in our group who is a lot bigger.
Named Joseph.
Big Joseph.
So awesome. Well, Joseph, nice to meet you. Drew and Jacob are absolute legends in the animation discussion, and you guys are legends listing things. Well, we are the lists of things.
And I hate lists, believe it or not.
But this is kind of a list show.
Yeah, it is kind of a list show.
I hate making lists. I hate making grocery lists. I hate it with everything.
Yeah, I don't make any other lists other than this.
This is the only list I make. Yes, that's true.
So,
as a newly married man, be like lists or something I'm getting used to. Let's just say that.
I've been married 12 years now, and I have never liked lists.
Fair. Understandable. I'm getting used to it. My wife loves lists. She loves all this stuff. It's okay. Awesome.
I love that my wife loves lists. I love that she loves lists. I love that she loves it. I just don't.
Fair.
I'm still surprised I don't have to make requests for Jacob through Ashley at this point.
Yeah, she's my manager.
Pretty much.
You're not kidding. About why he hates making lists.
Can Andy make a list about why I can certainly, just not right now. I have to. It would involve making an extra list.
Write down a list of things to do after the show and put that on there.
Got it.
Jay,
and don't forget to check it.
You're going to be up, man. What is your criteria? Like, what were you thinking? Kind of building this together, and then let's hear your number 4.
All right, so my criteria behind making this list, I was trying to think of something iconic. What show, what movie does steps out in front and says, okay, this is iconic. Not necessarily like, oh my gosh, I wanted to be like, if I was in this world and situation, be like, probably. This sounds interesting. So this was my criteria. This was my building of this list, and it's about 12 deep. I've got my 4 listed, and my subs are down there because it was more okay. Be like this from this show. That sounds good. This was promotion for this show. Okay, cool. And I've got one on here. I've got them. They're all 4 of them are very odd. So I was looking for something that said this is so odd, no one else is going to grab it.
Okay, I like that. So a safe list.
Yeah,
what you think is going to be safe? We'll see.
Because you never know.
Yeah, we could be pulling some things out here, but
all
right.
True.
So Jacob, so now that you've given us your criteria, what's your Rosie?
All right, my Rosie would be the bugs from The Lion King.
Whoa!
Yeah,
I know.
That's weird, right? I know. Let me explain. So, as a young, this was 1994.
Young warthog.
Exactly. So back in 1994, when I went and watched this in theaters for the first time, blown away, beautiful animation, you get to the scene where Timon and Pumbaa are introducing Simba to their way of life, and what they eat is bugs. The way this is animated, the way the bugs crawl and the whole bit, I'm like, oh my gosh, that is so disgusting. But at the same time, you can't keep your eye away from it. This is so freaking amazing. It's you have the crawling and how it's animated. At the same time, be like, you know what? If I was in that world, I might eat a bug. You never know. I thought it was like, wow, this is so interesting. Because I remember watching on the big screen. Again, I've watched this movie a dozen times, because it's an icon in my life as a child. And it's just like, man, those are tasty bugs. It's weird, right? But they're tasty bugs because they're drawn so elegantly and just so tastefully. It's like slimy yet satisfying. I know, weird.
I knew you'd work that in.
You're welcome.
I'll just say this. I watched a few videos today, and when we match here, we call it a Crushmore.
Mm-hmm.
One of the videos I watched, this was on it, and both of the guys on the show Crushmore. But the girl that was on the show was quite appalled that they picked it. And the explanations that they had were absolutely great. One of them was saying, even the little blue bug that Timon eats, it just looks like a blue, I think he said cotton candy or something like that. They designed them to make them look so edible. Oh, yeah. And then he mentioned the fact that when Simba eats his, he tries it. It looks really like he makes a nasty voice or face, and then he says, "Oh, it's not so bad." So it's he goes, "I feel like I'd probably be like Simba. I'd like try it. It's kind of like, and it might not be too bad." So how do we know if bugs aren't the greatest thing that we're supposed to be eating?
No. Now if they're dipped in chocolate, according to my uncle, it's really good.
I will say this: I am guilty of eating 3 different bugs for real.
Yeah,
like on purpose. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I've had spiders, roaches, and ants.
Ooh, I've heard ants are pretty good in chocolate. Like a cricket in chocolate is pretty good. What I understand, I've actually tried one before. It was pretty interesting.
Crunch.
Yes.
I've had scorpion before. It was not good. It was not good.
Oh, fair.
None of them were really great. Oh. The fact that the chocolate was in there was the best part.
I've had cricket. Yeah, we've had cricket before. And it's we have the insectarium here in New Orleans.
Oh yeah, they put them in the suckers.
You can get like the sucker, or you can get the chocolate dipped ants and different things. And like
very gnats are fat free.
Look, they're probably very healthy. It's gluten free. It's organic. There's some cultures that only
not hepatitis free though.
Well, hopefully that's what I like my food to be. If possible, if at all possible.
Yes, but will it give you halitosis?
Likely they would. But
possibly.
It's a great pick. Way to come out hot. I
can honestly say I've never eaten any bugs.
Well, I'll say this. Good pick. And I am shocked. No, I'm not shocked. I say that wrong. I'm not shocked that you said this, but I expected it to be Andy. And his list isn't over with yet, so we might. Andy, was it me or you? I can't remember because you've been gone so long.
You're up.
I'm up. Great. All right, so bring that screen to me. And so here we go. Just want to say thanks for hanging around Geek Devotions. If you're lurking out there, we love that so much. Joseph, animated movies. He has a question for all the guys on the panel. So speaking of animated shows, Arcane, there's a new episodes that have come out, and I was wondering what y'all's opinion on. I can tell you this. I absolutely haven't watched this. I kind of think Andy maybe not have watched this. I think this is the one with League of Legends, right?
It's the League of Legends one.
Yeah. So League of Legends. So I've never watched it. Andy, have you watched it?
No.
So real quick, let's move over to these guys. Have you guys watched it?
I watched League of Legends season 1. I thought it was a phenomenal because they use a different style of animation. And I follow many of the artists who were behind the creation of that. And it's absolutely phenomenal watching that creation of it. And like the unique style, the way it's animated, the shading, everything. It's very unique. It's very very grimy, very adult animated series. So would I recommend it to children? Absolutely not. But I thoroughly enjoyed it. I started watching season 2. It has unique characters. I can't remember her name. This is sad. But Jinx, the main antagonist, but protagonist in a way, because it's about, the underclass trying to rise above the upper class. And it's done incredibly well. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I've started watching season 2, and I'm still blown away by the animation. I disagree here and there with little things in the series, but overall, I enjoy the animation, what they're doing with it. It's phenomenal. So yes, if you're interested in animation, all of that, it's amazing. I think they now have the art book out. So if you want to go look for that, it's available, I think, on Amazon.
Do you guys play League of Legends?
No.
Yeah, I never played, and I think
that's the primary reason why I have not watched the show.
Yeah, that's kind of the thing.
Because they just didn't pull me in. But I am glad that Jacob watched it, so at least one of us could speak to it.
Yeah, because I saw the trailer on Netflix, and I was like, ooh, that looks good. There again, animation guy, art guy, and I was like, ooh, this looks fun. I want to watch it. So I watched all the first season. I'm like, oh, okay, this is definitely not for kids. But yeah, it's great. Do not be I would not recommend any fashion or form showing this to your children unless they're no, not even. But yeah, as an adult, yeah, go watch it. Now, Grant, if you have an issue with sin of nudity or pornography or whatever, there are some nudity scenes in it and sexual in nature. So if you have issues with that, I would recommend not watching it. But other than that, it's violent, it's gory, it's got language, because it's an adult show. It's a modern cartoon for adults.
Kind of like Heavy Metal, huh?
Yeah, kind of like Heavy Metal. I haven't seen Heavy Metal, but I know what Heavy Metal is about.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I haven't watched it, but hey, hopefully that helps, Joseph. And thanks for being here. So let me jump into mine. So criteria. I kind of gave it away if you weren't here earlier. I was very confused in the beginning. Where am I going to go with this? How am I going to do this? Every list for the Rushmore Show, no matter if I like it or not, or if I have any kind of whatever, I can make one. I can make a list. I just got to come down with the criteria. That's where criteria always came in. My criteria eventually landed on what are the most iconic. If I was to show a depiction of this, if I was to show this item, maybe a silhouette of the character in this item or whatever, you would know exactly what cartoon or animation or some kind of film of what that is. If I was just to kind of say the words, because the title of it is so iconic, then that would probably be the ones I pick. Now, all of the ones that I've picked, except probably my number 4 coming up for rightful reasons, I would love to eat them. I would love to eat them. They're all fantastic. But number 4, I'm going to jump in, and this kind of goes with the weekend that we had over at the convention. This one started back in 1969. And this might be the oldest one on the show today. I don't know what everybody else is picking. But back in 1969, this debuted. Lots of episodes. It's been remade so many times. I'm going with none other than Scooby Snacks. And Scooby-Doo. And I almost put the Shaggy Sandwich because they had that quadruple, triple, double-decker sandwich that was large. I was like, I would probably eat that before the Scooby Snacks. But the Scooby Snacks are much more iconic. Scooby Snacks were given to Scoob and Shaggy by Fred and Velma and whatnot to entice his bravery, to hey, if you know anything about these guys, they were like hunters trying to catch the bad guy who was always kind of a ghost or whatever. And they were always super nervous and scared. And then they would say, all right, I need you guys to be kind of the trap, if you will, kind of the bait. And they wouldn't want to do it. And they were like, they'd give them the Scooby Snacks. They would become brave. Oh, we'll do it. And they would eat like crazy. It's a kind of a running fact that it's estimated that they were probably under the influence and kind of having the munchies, if you will, especially the way that Shaggy's depicted. But when you go iconic, man, Scooby-Doo is way up there. And I also wanted to just shamelessly plug this. This is the last thing that we got this week. And I think it was almost the last thing even that we got at the very end. But one of the guests this week was Scott Enos right there. And he is the voice of all of these characters, one being Shaggy and Scooby-Doo. And he is doing he was there, and I literally walked up because I had heard through the grapevine that he was doing what's called Cajun Con. There it is. Let me cover that up. So there he goes. So Cajun Con, which is a big convention coming in December down in our neck of the woods, and it is huge. He's already got like 70 guests, like famous folks coming, most of the cast of Willy Wonka, a ton of other wrestlers and other things. And I went to go find him to see if we could get on it. If we can get a vendor spot, not a vendor spot, but a fan spot. He gave me this card and he said, call him this summer because he's got another thing he's doing. And he said, I'm going to try and get you on the show. He's estimating 50 to 70,000 people is coming to the show. But my son, Mr. Freebie himself, is standing there next to me, and he picks up this particular picture. And we're about to walk away. I wasn't going to get on auto or anything. And he goes, hey, you, grab that. To my son. He grabs it and puts his signature right there. Boom. And so this is kind of a cool thing. Scooby Snacks is going to be my number 4, my line in the sand, one of the most iconic foods, one of the most iconic cartoons. And my biggest choice was where was I going to put it on the list? But there we go.
Yeah, this is a Benjamin for me. I wasn't going to eat a dog snack. I mean, that was the only thing.
That was the thing.
For my criteria,
I wanted to put the sandwich, but this is the one I wasn't going to eat. But I will say this. They do make Scooby snacks for both dogs and people, and those are some great snacks. Those little granola, they taste kind of like Teddy Grahams.
They are.
And I love Teddy Grahams.
Just don't mix the dog version and the human version up.
Yeah.
I have personally been offered several of them because I have Tourette's disorder and I bark like a dog, and I have fellow coworkers who like to play with me. It's like, oh, I bark like a dog. They'll go get me a Scooby snack. Literally. Now, some people are like, oh, that's offensive. To me, that's funny unless they push it too far.
Yeah. So, by the way, Cajun Con is in December of next year. We'll be, if we can get on this, we are going to be talking about that all the way leading up. And as well as, so we're actually kind of estimating to maybe be in 6 conventions next year. So that'd be great if we can get on that one. So awesome. Yeah. What do you all think about Drew? What do you think about Scooby snacks?
Well, the Scooby snack itself wasn't on my list, but I will say another one you mentioned, Deck, is knocking around somewhere on my list. So
okay,
yeah, Scooby snacks are very iconic.
Yes,
I've probably known about them more than most of the other foods on my list. So yes. It's
look, if Jacob can have bugs, I'm definitely
yeah, you're fine.
Yeah, right.
So hey, check this out. So on the subject of Scooby-Doo, can you see my dyslexia right there real quick? So on the subject of Scooby-Doo, that's not what it says. Can you do a little more specific, because there's an older version and a newer version, as well as a pup named Scooby-Doo, the early 2000s version. There's a few movies on Scooby-Doo. So which one? So I can better understand. So for Scott, if I'm assuming you're talking about the voice. He's kind of like the running voice for Scooby now. Like he's kind of that guy hanging around now. When I'm talking about Scooby snacks, I'm going back to the original that I watched syndicated in like the early 80s which was the 69 to 7000 version.
Scooby-Doo, Where Are You?
Yeah, Scooby-Doo, Where Are You? Voiced by Frank Welker.
Pup Named Scooby-Doo was probably my favorite rendition in the 80s. I love that. Pup Named Scooby-Doo was awesome. You had Scrappy. You had all the other renditions. But, yeah, I would probably go with the original, the OG, and Pup. The movies are great. Scoob was great. I love the soundtrack.
Like Scoob.
Yeah. And but yeah, there you go. I'm hopefully that helps.
Yeah,
so,
I would go because I'm not the Scooby-Doo expert because I love Scooby-Doo because I actually had someone because for a commission piece someone asked me to do Scooby-Doo. That was fun. And I think kind of arcing to our show, the Celcast, we reviewed Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island, probably one of the best Scooby-Doo movies there is.
Great.
We've done Scooby-Doo, the live action film,
and we've done Scoob.
Yeah, we've done Scoob. Like we've done that. Be like, they're all great films. I think if you were to go and watch, like obviously Scooby-Doo, Where Are You? Obviously, that's iconic.
That's the classic.
That's the classic. But if you want to watch something more recent, that's not Velma. Don't watch that. It's a terrible piece of trash. So yeah, not promoting that at all, but it's trash.
Yeah,
I would highly recommend go and watch Mystery Incorporated Scooby-Doo.
I thought it was What's New Scooby. No, it's Scooby-Doo Mystery Incorporated.
Yeah, Scooby-Doo right. Mystery Incorporated. That is a amazing feat of just like storytelling and the whole bit. It doesn't like completely destroy what they did before, like with that trash Velma. Again, I'm going to say that was a piece of trash. But Mystery Incorporated was phenomenal. It has like 3 seasons. It's on Netflix.
Was Zombie Island's Scooby-Doo. He was Scooby-Doo and Shaggy from Witch's Ghost, Alien Invaders. He was also Scooby-Doo, Cyber Scooby, Shaggy, Cyber Shaggy, and Creeper from the Cyber Chase in 01. He was Scrappy in 02. He was Shaggy in Scooby-Doo and Toon Tour of Mysteries. Lost Treasure. Oh, no, and that's all of them. Oh, and then going down further, he was in the 98 version, Behind the Scenes, Scooby-Doo Project. And that is it for Scoob. Oh, one more. Mystery, Fun Park Phantom, and Classic Creep Capers. He was in all those. Oh, gosh, it keeps going. He was in much more. But it just never stops. Depends on if it's the web or whatever. So, yeah, cool. All right, man. Well, Scooby-Doo, man. Andy, you're up.
That was a great pick. On the subject of Scooby-Doo, though, my daughter's name is Daphne. So I do have
very nice.
Yeah, so the daughter named Daphne. But anyway, yeah, man. Criteria-wise for me, I've kind of talked about it. I wanted to eat the food. That was really what it came down to. I remember like food or this particular food being an integral part of the movie, or at least integral enough for me to like that's a core memory from the movie or the cartoon or whatever, wherever I saw it. And of course, I wanted to eat it. You know, I've been a foodie since I was born. This is just my life.
You wanted to be a chef.
I wanted to be a chef. One of the first things growing up, I love grilling today. Anything cooking outside. I can do some stuff inside, but I just like that. And then I just have an appreciation for it. It's what people can do with food and stuff. But when people can animate food, and this kind of speaks to you guys, Celcast, when you can animate food and it looks just as enticing as like a steak that's right in front of me or something like that, you're doing a good job. If it can be like, I know that that's fake, but it makes me crave it. I think that's awesome. So that is kind of my criteria. It's mouthwatering. I wanted that food that was on there. And believe it or not, this is going to happen early. You thought you were going obscure. I'm going with the Grubs, the Bugs from Lion King as my list. Kirk knew I was going to put it on my list. But I can't tell you how many times I watched Lion King and that scene, like you said, when he flips the log over and all of those just multicolored bugs that are getting squished and slime's coming out and they're like the sounds, like the ASMR kind of before we knew what ASMR was, what that's happening in this scene is so iconic. Little thing, when I was a young warthog, no, when I remember actually eating bugs. Like this is part of my life. The little roly-poly bugs that we would find. I remember doing that as a kid. I'm not afraid to admit it. But I still eat bugs today, gladly. You know, I eat crawfish all the time, and I love mud bugs. We eat that stuff here as a delicacy. But yeah, these bugs though, man, like when they would squeeze them and all that, whatever would come out, and just the bright colors and everything. We've shared it all. This is my Rosie, and I honestly was pushing for this to be like maybe even my George. And here's why. Because when we thought this topic, when we discussed this, I said that was like the first thing that came to my head was the bugs, believe it or not, from Lion King. And then other things kind of trickled in and it made its way down. The reason I knew for a fact it had to make my top 4. But the reason it's 4 is because the other 3 are like actual like food designed for humans, right? Consumption. So, but with that said, I'm not sleeping on the grubs from this. And it also reminds me, makes me think of throwing back to some 90s nostalgia. Remember creepy crawlers?
Oh yes.
Like it makes me think of that too. Like they're just the bright, slimy, gooey bugs, and I love them so much. So that is my Rosie.
Creepy crawlers was just an excuse for them to sell to guys the easy bake oven.
Yeah, well, yeah, we weren't going to
same thinking thing.
Yeah.
So I mean, I had you pegged, dude. I had you pegged. And here's the thing: you gave it away because you were like, not even real things for people. And I was like, well, how many more are there out there?
There's another one that's on my Benjamins. If it doesn't get mentioned, there's another one.
Kind of was like, well, maybe it's this, maybe it's that. And then I saw those videos and I was like, it's absolutely this.
Yeah.
He's a Lion King guy.
Also that, yeah, the movie being as
yeah. So here's the thing. I'm not debating that it's on your list. I'm debating the fact that you challenged my dog snacks.
Yeah,
I'm not eating dog snacks, but I'm sure eating a squishy caterpillar.
Surprisingly, I would prefer the bugs over the Scooby snacks. Probably they look.
I think it's a girl dad video.
They look more enticing than just a.
I think it should be a girl dad video.
Yeah, let's do that.
Gosh,
my kids won't do it, but you know, hey.
Like, hey, it's a fun thing to do with your kids. You freak them out. It's like, oh my gosh, Dad's eating a bug. Oh my gosh.
We definitely have this thing on cruise control because we finally just finished our first one. So let's roll around and get to number 2. All right. So number 2 on our list, which is number 3 down in the ranking. We call him TJ Jazzy Jeff. Joseph, thanks for hanging out. So you got to find out all the names, dude. So TJ Jazzy Jeff. That's for Thomas Jefferson. So starting back over at Drew, no criteria needed. Where you go?
So here's a fun fact: all of my remaining choices for my Mount Rushmore of animated foods are all anime.
Nice. Okay.
So my number 3, or my TJ Jazzy Jeff, is going to be my utilitarian pick. Because, quite frankly, I have no idea if this thing would even taste good. But every once in a while, you just need a little pick-me-up. So my TJ Jazzy Jeff is the Senzu bean from Dragon Ball.
Yes! Good pick. All right.
Yeah. Just eating one of these is supposed to take you all the way back up to 100% fighting in power. So I'm thinking... If I'm having a hard day getting ready to go to work, just pop one of these. I'm awake. I'm ready to go. That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking this may not taste as good as a coffee or Coca-Cola, but hey, if it's faster and it's not habit forming, why not? But yeah, Senzu beans from Dragon Ball.
I love that. I would venture to say it probably doesn't taste good. The fact that
it probably doesn't.
No.
I suspect it's
I watched the video and they
medicine.
said that somewhere in the lore they say it tastes like fish.
Wouldn't
Probably.
surprise
You
me.
never know.
I mean, it's grown by a cat, so
That is true. It's probably smells fishy.
But have you ever had fish
I'll
oil?
say
like
this is
fish
a
oil
Benjamin for me, only because Dragon Ball, I know how important this is in the Dragon Ball lore, but Dragon Ball is, and don't crucify me, it's way down the list on fandoms for me. I love
Fair.
Dragon Ball
That's fair.
and what it's done, but yeah, it's down the list. So I had it on the list only because I saw it in other videos. I'm like, yeah, that's cool. But if you know anything about them, they're like just magic beans, dude. They like eat them.
Yeah, it does.
And it one of the times, yeah, there you go. Ask me about my beans. One of the times somebody like gets impaled like completely, I think by Frieza or somebody, and the bean like keeps him alive, right? And so yeah.
Krillin. It's actually Krillin who gets impaled by Frieza's second form on top of his giant bull horns. And he even bounces Krillin up there a couple of times. I mean, it hurts watching it.
It does.
But no, I take it back. The Senzu bean did not heal him because they were out of Senzu beans at the time. Dende healed him on that one.
That's right. But Senzu beans are done
but they have healed pretty much the entire Dragon Ball crew up from nearly dead.
Yeah.
To full
except
fighting
Yamcha.
Poor Yamcha. We're not going to get into Yamcha.
Poor Yamcha.
That man's death became a meme.
Literally.
So this is a great pick, especially for our anime friends. The bean and Andy, what do you think about this?
I love this pick. I wasn't even thinking of this as food. I mean, I know it. I get it, but like this wasn't even on my radar. But as I'm looking, I'm just Googling this stuff. You can buy them. They make these candies.
I'm sure the candies taste a lot better than
it
says
fruit flavor. It says fruit flavor, so yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah.
But Walmart $6.97. For like obviously you have to. I don't think it's in store, at least the one here locally. But yeah, that's
you probably got to order it from a warehouse.
Probably.
Yeah. So, but this is a good pick. I do love Dragon Ball Z. I'm a fan of that. Growing up, 90s kid. After school, when I would come home, Dragon Ball Z was coming on. This is a great pick. The only thing that I didn't love about Dragon Ball Z was there were some episodes that went by, and I'm like, did anything happen in this episode?
So this is a standard problem with Dragon Ball Z. If you're watching the original show, if you are going back and watching Dragon Ball Z for the first time, go watch Dragon Ball Z Kai.
Yes.
It cuts out most of the filler.
Yeah.
It takes the in the original show, I think it's almost like 200 episodes to get to the end of the Frieza arc.
Yes.
And Dragon Ball Z Kai does it in 100.
Oh, well.
Give you an idea how much it can cut. Yes. But yeah. There is still problems of it taking of Frieza claiming the planet will blow up in 11 minutes and 10 episodes later it finally blows up.
Yeah.
But
next time on Dragon Ball Z.
But admittedly, a lot of the standing around and screaming heads off while you're powering up is lessened.
Yes. Yeah. I agree.
Unfortunately, you don't get to see Goku and Piccolo learn how to drive cars.
Oh, that is hysterical, though.
That's a funny episode.
The first thing I think of when I think of Senzu beans. Am I saying that right?
Senzu beans.
Yeah, Senzu beans. The first thing I think of is the Cell arc in Dragon Ball Z.
What you're bringing up.
Yeah, so you have Goku in his genius. He wants his son Gohan to fight perfect Cell,
and then throws a Senzu bean.
Let me finish. Let me finish. Be like Gohan is pounding the crap out of him, and then the fight stops, and then Goku, out of infinite wisdom, is like, "Oh, I want this to be a fair fight. I want Cell in his full form."
Hang on. I got to correct you on one thing on there.
What?
Technically, Gohan hadn't pounded on him before Goku threw the Senzu bean at him.
Oh, okay. I was under the impression it was.
It was after Goku fought him and quote unquote gave up, and that he got.
That's right. Bean. That's right.
Krillin gave it to him because he thought Goku needed it, and Goku throws it to Cell and gets him to eat it.
Yeah, that was
so that Cell can fight Gohan at full power.
Yeah, which I thought was
bear in mind, Gohan's a pacifist.
Yeah, it's like, oh yeah, I really want my pacifist son to rage out and destroy this monster, even though he really doesn't want to. And you give him a bean that's going to give him full power. What are you thinking, Goku?
See, I thought you were going to bring up the Dragon Ball Z abridged joke of Krillin just throwing senzu beans at different people, going senzu bean. I nearly got that clip to put on my soundboard. Just so I could play it for this show.
Senzu bean.
The closest thing I can think is like edamame. Doesn't it? It looks like edamame beans.
Maybe. I've never had edamame, so
yeah, me either.
It tastes like nothing.
Yeah, I have no idea what edamame is.
It's good. It tastes
What
like
is that?
whatever salt you put on it. It's just beans.
It's like salty. It's like salty beans. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's like eating. I won't even say popcorn because popcorn at least like butter. Like these, you just like. It's like
there's no taste to it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But they are good
like
for your heart.
beans.
All right.
Unless you do other things.
From outer space. Hammie and Son. Hammie and Son, you didn't miss much because we're still hanging around. Hey, look, so you're up, Jacob.
All right. So if you notice in the background, something's missing.
Yeah, I did notice that.
Yes.
Nah. All right. So
you are obsessed.
No, I'm not. No. Am I? Okay. You can go back here. I don't care. All right. I'll fix them later. But one of my favorite anime movies of all times is, surprise, surprise, Lilo and Stitch. Or Tangled. One of those.
Great movie.
One of the two. I'll be like, I have always, and Drew goes to fix it, whatever. But the thing is, like, this movie came out at a certain time. It was 2002 when it came out. And I absolutely loved it in theaters. Amazing, wonderful film. And I kept thinking, what in this movie that makes it so, like, a moment or a scene or whatever in this movie makes it iconic and makes it memorable? It's food. It's an island. It's Hawaii.
Yes.
And the only thing I could think of is ice cream.
Yeah.
And here's the reason why. Because you have one character who he has no lines. He's on the beach.
Oh, that poor man.
The poor man who literally every time he gets an ice cream, it's like 3 or 4 scenes. Every time he drops his ice cream, and I think it's absolutely hilarious. Now, granted, it's beautifully colored and animated incredibly well. And I'm thinking, like, this is the funniest moment not the funniest, but it's a running gag the entire time. That Chris Sanders, who is an amazing artist, if you don't follow him on Instagram, he's great. He was the voice of Stitch. He's going to be the voice of Stitch in the live action movie, which, again, personally, I can't wait to watch. I guess, again, apparently I have an obsession with Stitch.
You are obsessed.
I love Stitch. It's one of my favorites. When it comes to Disney films, it is underrated for me, by and large, because it just didn't get a lot of fanfare back then. But when you go back and watch it, it's a great film. I love the editing. I love the artistry, and this character, like the worst suntan ever.
Oh yeah,
right, worst suntan ever. He's got the body of a god, and he is eating mint chocolate, mint chocolate chip or pistachio.
Yeah, that's true.
Because it's green, maybe lime sherbet.
You slap a beard on that character, and he's me. I'm just saying.
Fair.
Just saying. Yeah.
Let's get a visual. Yeah, here we go.
I'm telling you throw. Can we commission a picture of him with a beard?
Oh, I can do that.
I can do that. If someone can do that, it's Jacob.
Yeah, I can do that very easily. Commission away. I will do that for you.
He has very good rates.
He has the same tan as me. So, that's just part of it. No, this is a great pick. My daughter Zoe.
Me too.
There you go. my oldest is now, she's 10, and she has this fascination with Stitch too. And it's kind of made that comeback. Like it's retro, which is weird to think that Lilo and Stitch is retro.
2000s.
But it is,
Yeah, it is retro.
Especially since the Lilo and Stitch merchandise never stopped.
No, it doesn't.
Well, I feel like it's picked back up. Maybe I've just noticed because she's getting into it now.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's been constant. So every time we go to a con, and I don't have it here because it's in her room, she has to get a Stitch Funko Pop. That's her favorite thing to do. She has the Stitch stuffed animals. She went to Build-A-Bear and did a Stitch. She's got Stitch pajamas. She's got Stitch pillowcase. I mean, she's Stitch everything. Her room is like Stitch everything. So she's
Stitchified.
She is absolutely, and she is very excited about the live action / CGI whatever that and soon. So
I'm still waiting to see who's playing Lilo, because that will probably make it or break it for me.
Yeah, it could have a lot to do with it. I think casting has a lot to do with a lot of these,
it does.
So anyway, yeah, this is a great pick, man. I didn't think of this as like food because obviously it is. It's ice cream. It's there, but I'm excited. We've had 2 ice cream picks so far.
I love ice cream.
It's good.
Ice cream, you scream. We all scream.
We all scream for ice cream.
All right.
I love this pick. That's a great character. Love that movie. But oh gosh, that's a horrible rendition. Because of the copyrights, I didn't want to do anything very close, but it did get.
Oh my gosh! Did you GPT this?
Oh gosh, no!
I wish I had.
I can do something so much better. Just let me loose. Give me a commission. I will do it.
GPT is it hates when you try and ask it to license properties and change them up. So I told it, well, get it as close as possible, and you can kind of trick it. Anyways, my turn, and listen, this is another big iconic one, and let me pull up the stats just like I did on the last one. This particular food debuted 1988-ish, 88 to 94, 121 episodes for this particular cartoon. The creator might give it away a little bit for you guys, but it's Jim Davis, and I'm rolling with that beautiful tray of lasagna going Garfield and his infatuation with lasagna. And look, I looked it up. I was like, lasagna is his favorite food. Insatiable love for the dish. Has lots of moments with him and John and Odie and all the other ones. It symbolizes he eats an absurd amount of it. And so it symbolizes Garfield's laziness and self-indulgence, which kind of builds on the character. And I said, hey, what exactly is the flavor? Has it ever been mentioned? Like, what is the type? And it says that he loved the traditional Italian sausage, layers of pasta, marinara sauce, ricotta cheese, and mozzarella. And that right there, I love lasagna. I just had lasagna the other day. But one thing I am not a fan of is ricotta cheese. I just don't like it. I love the 3 meats or 4 meats lasagna. That's usually the one we purchase. But anyways, couldn't be more iconic. I mean, you get then Scooby is, gosh, some other ones that I got coming down the pipeline in this pick of 8. But I'm going lasagna, man. Garfield. Garfield was a staple not only in cartoons but in the funny pages of the newspaper. I used to have the books. Man, I love Garfield. So,
yeah, I for the same reason, lasagna was always like in the bottom of my. No, it's good. It was in the bottom. Like I wasn't wanting lasagna because of the ricotta cheese. Was always like the
now. And the one that we get is the Stouffer's one, and you can pop that thing in the up. And dude, I will eat the whole pan once the ricotta's out.
I will say this though: apparently, the traditional way does not involve ricotta, so that's like been a thing that's Americanized. Or whatever. I don't know, but
wouldn't surprise me.
That corner piece of lasagna might be one of the better bites in food,
bro. And it doesn't. Yeah. And look, when you peel it and it goes all the way around that joker, oh. It's like beef jerky, lasagna jerky, dude. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, we got Fat Boys Gaming and Nonsense.
Yes, we do.
What's up?
Smash that like button for sure. Fat Boys, thank you for being here. Hammie's back. Joseph says, does anyone remember the movies Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, both 1 and 2? And if that, does it make your pick? I did entertain it. For me, lots of great looking food. Mm-hmm. Nothing that I considered iconic except the meatball, right? But when I thought of the movie, I thought of the shoes the mostly. But somebody might have it.
Yeah.
I will say it is in consideration.
There you go. Okay.
We have reviewed the first movie, but not the second.
Yeah.
Great. I mean, it's a great movie. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
I love the premise of it. But thanks for asking, Joseph. All right. So, Andy, finish off the first half of the mountain.
Yeah. This had a strong push for probably most iconic food in cartoon animated history.
Really? You're going here?
And I'm going here. And I'm kind of cheating here because it's not actually even one specific food. There's so much in this that I'm really honestly picking a movie, and I'm going to tell you all of the food from this movie. And this plays right into what Jacob and Drew were saying before. But all of the food, if you don't get hungry watching Spirited Away, I don't know.
Agreed.
I don't know who you are. You just don't like food because, dude. So food has so much to do with this, right? Because we have the buffet and the that whole deal. So food is an integral part to this movie, and for that reason, just the animation of this food. I mean, I've never, and let's say there's a lot of things I'll eat. I'll eat whatever. I mean, it's whatever. But I've never seen a whole fish on a table look as appetizing as it does in Spirited Away. Like eyeballs and everything. Like I'm like, yeah, I want that. But the everything that's there, the dumplings, the eggs, just everything on that giant feast table. I mean, first of all, buffet, it might be one of the best styles of eating ever, right? Mm-hmm. It's just, I love a buffet, but then when you have all of that food in there too, that movie is great. I've never really been a huge anime fan in the sense of like, that's just not what I typically just go to, when I think of, when I put movies on, but I love Spirited Away. I love my wife actually kind of turned me on to that. Like when we first started dating, and because it was a movie she really likes, and it's a fantastic movie. But the animation really is what takes it over the top for me. It's a great story. It's great everything else, but the food in that movie, I would venture to say if you just type in best animated food and you find anyone's article, if it doesn't have Spirited Away's food in it somewhere, disregard everything else it says.
Well, and it will probably be that picture of no face in front of the giant
probably
food.
Yeah.
They use the same shot every time.
Yeah, but you're right. They show that shot, but throughout the movie, the amount of food that you're seeing just being eaten consistently, it is a fantastic movie. And it's
I'll just jump in. I have only seen about half of this movie. I love anime in a sense when I was a kid, and then I kind of got out of it, hence the Dragon Ball, hence the whatever. And I don't know how long ago it was, but whoever we had on the show, they were talking about this Miyazaki. I don't remember who it was, maybe Geek Devotions or somebody. I went and I started watching it, and for no other reason not that it was boring, but I fell asleep. It was late. It's like after this show when we're done, I would put it on. Yeah. And I just never have made it back. But I have seen like Mononoke. I've seen the Totoro one. I've seen a couple of them. Spirited Away is just not one that I've seen. But we'll share this. And it was great up until the point I saw. That same list that we were looking at earlier, that I was talking about earlier, that had the bugs. Okay, so one of the guys had bugs number 1 and had the parents as pigs number 2.
That's just wrong.
And the guy questioned it. Yeah. The guy questioned it and was like, "Wait a second, you really want to eat the parents?" And he's like, No, the whole scene happening when he's eating that food and all around that makes him gorge out, turning the pigs. All of that food is what I want. And
is the scene where like they have like the fried egg on top of the rice and the soy, and they stir it, steak.
Yeah,
like,
looks amazing.
That is just. I love runny yolk, but yeah, as we're talking, I'm just pulling up gifs of all of these food, and
it's just iconic. Just how it's drawn, how it's animated, how fluid it is.
Yeah, and
it salivates as you're watching it.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, it's so good.
So good.
Yeah. All right. Well, halfway there. An hour and a half in, we're halfway through.
Yeah. Let's run through some commercials real quick. Number one, St. Tammany Collectors Con was absolutely off the chain. The next convention that we have coming up, Andy for sure will be at what's called Pelicon last week of January. If I'm able to get down there 2 back-to-back weekends, I'll definitely try. But I'm not sure that I'll be able to do it back-to-back weekends. But go follow Pelican with an O, right? And then both Corey's were on our show not long ago. But the next weekend, Louisiana RetroCon, we're going to hopefully have commercials for these to play for you guys coming soon. This is going to be February 1st and 2nd. My wife was buying tickets for me tonight. This one is a guarantee I will be there. Speaking of that, this past week I preached on Darth Vader and the how people can come back from the darkness, and just how it was impacted because Spencer Wilding was at this, and who was Darth Vader in Rogue One. I preached on that. Great little time. We had about 20-ish people got to hear the gospel at the convention. That's awesome. And so we'll probably be preaching on Sonic the Hedgehog because Louisiana RetroCon will have Sonic, a couple Sonic guests there and a few other people that have been named. Sonic is the theme. Pelican, the theme is, and he told me it is not Animaniacs. What is it, Andy?
Spider-Man, right? Spider-Man
in the multiverse, yeah. But he does have a guy who was in the Animaniacs as one of his guests, as a voice actor or something. So we'll probably do some Spider-Verse then for that. Now it's time to hang out and tell you about our friends at Culture Box. And obviously, we've got some Culture Box friends right below us. But as I said to you guys before, Culture Box is a conglomerate of a bunch of Christian creators that are like-minded, that love geekery. And I said earlier, we'll probably hang out with our friend Retro Rewind today. So, Andy, do you want to cue up that beautiful footage before we do the bean footage?
Roll that beautiful bean footage. Here we go. Retro Rewind. Check them out.
Every other week, join the Retro Rewind pod as they travel back 15 or more years along the entertainment space-time continuum in their mission to review movies and games, establishing what is still worth your time today. Expect fun banter and trivial insights from Francisco, Paul, and rotating guest hosts who are all out of time.
There you go, guys. Check out Retro Rewind. Our friend Francisco was in the comments earlier.
Yeah, Francisco is hopefully still lurking around. He is, or he's going to come back and watch 2 Times Speed, and Geek Devotions is still lurking around, hopefully. But, Andy, we have a new commercial to debut today.
Yeah, we do. Ask me about my beans. I'm so glad that you asked me about my beans. That's what this
that beautiful bean footage.
We actually do have beautiful bean footage now. Hey, we are official partners with Village Coffee. And let's roll this quick commercial for you guys.
Let's face it, at-home coffee can be pretty stale. Coffee at home doesn't have to be boring. The Village Coffee is here to deliver the flavor. The Village Coffee roasts coffee every week and sells online. Go to villagebeans.com to order your coffee today and use discount code RUSHMORE for free shipping.
You heard that correct. We have an official promo code. If you go to villagebeans.com, you can order your coffee there. If you type in the promo code Rushmore, you get free shipping. So, hey, there you go. Save you on some shipping. It is the best coffee. It's so good. I love Village Coffee.
I'm going to Rushmore in tonight. The Mexico I had at your house was
I was going to say you finally tasted it. So
it was fantastic. I had it while I was in town for the convention. Great stuff. And look, for all our Christian friends, the guy that is doing this is a PK who is on his way to becoming a pastor very shortly. And
he will ship
one of our first guests ever. If you roll back to drummers, he was on our drum show. So go check that out. But man,
he'll ship to the 48 also. So he'll ship to you, and you can get the free shipping if you put in promo code Rushmore.
Great. So all right. So let's hit the second part of this mountain.
Let's get to it.
Bolo, be on the lookout. I'll have all the commercials, and we'll do all those things for the conventions. And just a heads up, we've got tons of Rushmores that we got. One really awesome one from Spencer Wilding, Darth Vader, literally Darth Vader. So come and hang out with us. Drew, you're up. This is Link, the missing link here. This is Link, number 2 on your mountain. All right, give me what you got for a pork chop.
So, my number 2, you wouldn't expect fast food to show up on this list probably. And the company McDonald's has a long history, at least in being made fun of in anime, with such places as WickDonald's and other things in different animes and such. But there is one anime that Jacob and I have both watched and reviewed, and we actually saw it on when it actually showed back in January of 2020, before all the lockdowns happened. A movie called Weathering with You.
Oh, yeah.
And the most delicious Big Mac I have ever seen.
Oh, you're not kidding. Oh, my gosh.
I don't know how much McDonald's paid Makoto Shinkai to draw this Big Mac. They need to pay him more because he gave them a far better looking Big Mac than they had they deserved to get. But yeah, the Big Mac scene at the very beginning of the movie Weathering with You is my link. Had to stop.
This is what you want a Big Mac to look like when you go there.
Yes.
This is the Big
and
Mac.
it's unfortunately not what Big Macs look like.
No.
That's advertised. I mean, it's perfectly placed together. When you get a Big Mac, the cheese is halfway out. Mm-hmm. There's the other piece of bread is kind of like askew. Yeah. Everything is thrown around.
The meat is already cold.
Lettuce is everywhere except on the burger. Mm-hmm. Look at that thing though. When you let me full size your screen real quick. Look how beautiful that is.
That is just gorgeous.
It is the most beautiful Big Mac I have ever seen.
Also, the meat goes all the way to the edge. The meat goes to the edge. Like when you buy a Big Mac, it's like
it actually looks like a large burger and not the little cheap stuff they give us.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's a great. So I didn't know this one. I did have to Google it.
If you've not seen the movie,
almost looks like a real burger.
Yeah, and honestly, all 3 of Makoto Shinkai's last films, starting with Your Name, Weathering with You, and
French fries that Geek Devotions was talking about when you started to bring up fast food.
Oh, the nacho fries that we reviewed for him. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Yeah.
We that was almost on my list. But that Big Mac though, I think just because of how surprisingly good it looks, is why it's my.
If I'm talking artistry, this is
that's a burger. That's a burger you eat with a fork and a knife. I mean, you give it some respect.
I mean, granted, this McDonald's that they're at is like downtown Shibuya, Tokyo.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I mean, it's got to be one of the more higher end ones in Japan, but still.
So it's so funny.
It's far better than it should.
Fast food in other places is so different. Let me. I'm going to try to find this picture. And there's a place in Argentina. It's kind of like, now they do have McDonald's there, but it's kind of like their equivalent of McDonald's. It's called Mostaza, And I have this picture that is, believe it or not, is in Argentina. So first of all, this is a different one that I just scrolled across. This is their McDonald's. It's called the Grand Tasty Turbo Bacon. This is an advertisement in Argentina. Let me look at that thing.
Oh my!
Oh wow!
Oh my!
It looks good, but it's probably so small it's not even funny.
Yeah, I don't. Obviously that's the advertisement of it. But I'm trying to find. There's this one. It's called Mostaza. Is this place?
Mm-hmm.
And you would think if I showed you this picture that this was just a burger that we found in America. But they have out America. Oh, this is fun. Sorry, I'm on this burger kick. They had a frozen burger in this place. And look at the name of the burger.
Oh,
Barfy.
Wow.
Ooh, yum. Hey, honey, what are we having for dinner tonight? Oh, I'm firing up some barfies.
Some names just don't translate.
No, they don't.
Oh, here it is. So this is Mostaza. Okay, this is what you would think is like. This is like them thinking, Americans are going to eat this. So they have a one's called a bang cheddar, but the other one's called a boom. Check this out.
Oh my word!
Whoa.
That looks like a heart attack waiting to happen.
Wait a second. Is that a Chapinator?
Dude, the Baconator doesn't even look that bad.
No,
Oh my gosh.
So
gooey and everything. Oh my
Wings
god.
of Oceans, you're out there. You might remember this, but you didn't go to camp as often. But our old youth director in Louisiana before Charlie was Alan Chapin. And Chapin would have this microwave hamburger at camp that would get doused over the top with chili and cheese.
Oh,
and you could order it off the thing called the Chapinator. And it was kind of the youth pastorish thing to do with kids, just to get it. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Is that a Chapinator?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Still catching up and can't believe we have two people wanting to eat bugs. Come on, Andy. Yes. But okay. That is great. So
yeah.
All right. So that's a great pick in just looks alone. But Jacob, where you at?
So my pick kind of going in that same vein of fast food. And it's still holding in that Disney theme that I've been holding to because I like Disney. Not necessarily where Disney has gone the last couple of years, but more the nostalgic, the early 2000s. Still sticking with the early 2000s. So 2002. This is from Kim Possible.
Yes, it is.
I knew this was on your list.
The Naco.
That's one of my Benjamins. I'm just going to say
that's a Benjamin.
Oh.
Again, this is a Benjamin for me, and it's only a Benjamin. Well, continue to tell us about the Naco.
Okay, so the Naco is a combination of nachos and tacos served at Vero Nacho. I can't remember the
Bueno Nacho.
Bueno Nacho. Thank you very much. I am terrible at pronouncing names. My apologies. So apparently this was something that Ron Stoppable, who frequents this restaurant all the time in the show, he literally lives there. He tries to get a cot there at one point because he loves this place so much. And it's a frequent place the characters come. And at one point, he creates this and he gets stock in it. And apparently he makes like $2 billion because he created this thing, which is literally just a combination of nachos and a taco, which is something like us in the normal world. We see that every day, right? But in this world, it is very different from a young, I just lost the word. Kim Possible, who she is, she's this super spy who's a whatever Kim does. I can't remember, but
spy.
Yep. No, spy. What she does at school.
Cheerleader.
Yeah, she's a cheerleader who's a spy and like a female James Bond.
Yes.
But it's just more, that was more one of the things that came to mind.
Female James Bond.
Yes, exactly.
Teenage Mutant female James Bond.
But yeah, this was like very iconic because again, when this show came out, I was like, wow, okay, this is cool. Now, the live action version wasn't good. Let's just be that, because it was very undercooked. It was a bad rendition of the show. And I was, for me personally, when that movie was announced, I was like, okay, please do justice. Please do justice. Put some money. Nope. It was crap.
Yeah.
And, but the TV show was really good. And plus it got a 4th season, because that's very rare in the Disney economy that most of them get 3 seasons and they're out. So it was one of those, because the Disney gods decided to bless you and give you a 4th season.
Yeah.
But the Naco.
Hey, look, before we jump in, I got some people to say hello to. Zach, who was on our show a couple weeks back and will be on our show again. We're already planning another, and we've got to be on his show. We've talked about that. He's our friend. He says, hey, Kirk and Andy, and he says the Mickey Mouse ice cream with the chocolate ears and eyes was my favorite cartoon dessert. And also Artsy Steph over on the Twitch side.
Hi,
I'm assuming this is from you guys.
Yes,
she does follow us.
Hey, Steph.
And she says, oops, it skipped up. And she says, family-friendly teenage female James Blonde.
Yes,
pretty much.
That's Kim Possible to a T.
And Zach, definitely, of course, man. Thanks for hanging out with us, guys. Artsy, our main spot's over on YouTube. We come on Twitch, but we don't have a huge gathering there. We'd love for you to hang around. And so we're talking cartoon. So, Naco.
Yes.
Kim Possible, quite possibly could have the favorite, one of the top songs. We talked about it and it came up, and anyways, I love that beat, and Kim Possible's a great cartoon. Runstoppable was awesome.
I can't tell you how many times
Little Mole Rat was cool.
Yeah. Mole Rat. I can't tell you how many times I'll say, if I'm just saying call me, I have to continue to beat me if you want to reach me. Like, always, like, I have
so hard not to.
Call me, beat me if you want to reach me later, and we can talk.
Yeah. And anyways, but the Naco looks really amazing. When I'm talking about foods I like to eat, I had some tacos today. But one of the things is I vaguely remember this, but one of the times, like when Ron's putting it together and whatever, he's just loaded it up and he goes to do it, and like the cheese and all that just is like pouring down his hands, and he's like trying to eat it. It looks like it's really messy, like a Frito pie or something. But it's probably fantastic, because what makes me think of is the double-decker taco, right? So you got the you got the soft shell, you got all the cheese.
I missed that one. Oh my gosh.
Oh, I love the double-decker.
I feel like a Taco Bell is very gimmicky.
Yes,
and
they are.
If they had some kind of collab with and they're also very nostalgia forward. If they did some kind of collab for whatever weird reason to come out with a Naco, that would be really cool.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
I mean, they made a
Taco Bell.
I mean, like, what are the, it's nothing is below them anymore.
Yeah,
No.
So, all right, so I'll jump in mine. I love that pick. So my last two, if you've been around long enough, y'all can pick them. I mean, you can pick them. Andy, I'm sure you've got both of them pegged. And I don't see it hanging around, but it's somewhere around here, because I'm going with probably the most recognizable. What I love about this one, and let me get the statisticians. Let me get the statisticians out. What I love about this one is sometimes the food is iconic, right? Sometimes it's just like one of the characters love it. Other times the whole show is about it, and that's what this one is. I'm going with none other than the Krabby Patty, SpongeBob SquarePants, and I mean, like, how much more iconic can you get? But 1999 is when SpongeBob started, and the secret formula has never actually been like told, but they do share two things. One, they share how SpongeBob talks about how to build the burger, right? How he builds it, bun, patty, and then I think it's like mayonnaise, mustard, and then onions, extra onions, lettuce, tomatoes, cheese, whatever, and then another bun. But pickles. what I will say is there is an episode later at the end where Krabs actually tries the patty on the show, and he says, "Oh, that's what I taste like." And so it started this spark that the secret formula and why he wanted to keep it so secret was crab. So that's interesting. But Krabby Patty can't be more iconic than SpongeBob SquarePants. I have a SpongeBob somewhere around here, which I got from a homeless guy. It's one of the last outreaches I did before I got out of homeless ministry, and he gave it to me. But my number 2, my link, SpongeBob SquarePants. Another thing that's really cool is everybody's trying to find the formula. You got the bad guy, you got the good guys, you got, Crab and all that. And then everybody is fiending for this thing. Everybody wants it. Everybody, even Squidward, SpongeBob, Patrick, all the small, characters, they all want Krabby Patties. Plankton, he never has a line. The line is out the door for the chum, not the chum bucket, but the Krabby Patty. Oh, that's another thing. They also say that the Krabby Patty building is a crab trap. So that's one thing. So, anyways, Krabby Patty.
That is a great pick. Perhaps one of the most iconic cartoon foods that's out there. An impressive run. Now, I'll say this: SpongeBob, in its later iteration, like it's kind of lost at least some of the original, in my opinion, of what it was. But hats off to any kind of. I mean, what you have the Simpsons and you have SpongeBob. It's like the 2 longest running. Yeah. Whatever. I mean, to be 30 years is just insane. I mean, or whatever it is now. It's something close to that.
Hey, so one real quick, Artsy, she did jump on over to the YouTube, and I should have gave you this over at the Twitch side as well. But hey, welcome to the Summit Squad for being a part. And anybody else out there that's new to the show, thanks for coming on by. This is for you. And the reason we share that is just to give you a heads up of kind of what we do. We do our top 4s and on like 6 categories. And I'm used to saying 4, but it's music, movies and TV, food, which is what we're doing right now, video games, nostalgia, and I always get sports. But there it is. There's our 6, and we do 2 months a piece. So welcome over here. While you walk around in the comments, give us what some of your top 4s might be in animated food. So that's kind of why one of the things we do, and see if you can either crush more with us, which is match, or have your own picks, which are really cool. Yeah. So Krabby Patty, what do you guys think down low about Krabby Patties?
So this was going to be in my Benjamins.
Oh,
yeah.
So that's not going to be there now.
40. Nope.
Yeah. And literally the reason it didn't make it higher was because I don't actually want to eat a Krabby Patty. It's not something I want to try. Partially because I don't like seafood that much. So
fair.
You don't like seafood, huh?
I don't like a lot of seafood. I like fried catfish. I like I've had calamari, which that's just excuse that you eat ketchup on fried bread, if we're being honest.
Yeah. That's exactly what it is.
That's exactly what it is.
Wait, for any of you sports fans, are you watching this Browns game, Andy?
No.
It is snowed out. I can't even see the game.
Yeah. No,
anyways, rolling on.
Yeah. It is. I will say the Krabby Patty is iconic, and it just didn't reach my top 4. So,
okay, that is fair. So I'm going to confess something. SpongeBob was never on my radar. So growing up, when this came out, be like, we didn't have cable, we didn't have satellite, and when it did come out, be like, again, I was probably in my early teens when did this come out? Like early 90s?
1999.
99. So I would have been a teenager. So this came out, I think it was on the television for a second, and my dad went, nope, we're not watching that. And I've watched a little bit here and there, but it's something that I've never really had an interest in watching. So it came out in 99. That was beyond my childhood, so I don't have that nostalgia.
That being said, the first SpongeBob SquarePants movie is on my to be considered list for this year.
Fair.
It's so good.
It is a good movie. It is a good movie, even if you're not a SpongeBob fan. It's a good movie.
It's a good movie.
Well, I'll just say
you must learn why writing the Hasselhoff is so important.
And I know you're doing Batman right now and all those things. That's a great movie. Batman's a great movie. If y'all need a guest,
I will be on the SpongeBob episode.
We can talk after the show.
Yeah.
So let me just say this. SpongeBob was not on my radar either, Jacob. As far as the show, my age is a little older than all four of you. When SpongeBob started rocking, I actually had a child. In the very beginning of SpongeBob, my daughter was born in 2000. So when SpongeBob was ramping up, her like 3-4 years old, I also, like your dad, was like, turn this off, right? There's a lot of innuendo. There's a lot of adult theme things in there. There's some weirdness in there, some silliness. And as a new dad, I was like, I don't want my kid to be laughing like that. I mean, like, what is happening here? Looking back, the show, there's only 1 or 2 other cartoons ever in history that could even rival in how iconic and how long-lasting a staple it's been. I mean, and another one might be mentioned today for sure. So that's, with that being said, and I know how much Andy loves SpongeBob, I felt this needed to get on there just because of the whole show was based off the Krabby Patty. I mean, like, traditional.
Well, believe it or not, it made a Benjamin for me because it has pickles on it. I know I put bugs on my list already, and I was okay with that.
Dude,
it's
crazy. You don't want dog treats. You don't want pickles, but you will eat bugs. I got it.
Now, but here's the thing.
Pickles are the only way I'll eat cucumbers. So,
yeah, I don't like post cucumbers. I like post whatever.
And see, I don't like pre pickles.
Oh, give me a cucumber all day. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. You all talking about SpongeBob. SpongeBob shaped me as a person. Like
you're square.
I am who I am because of.
Are you broadcasting from a pineapple under the sea?
Apparently.
Yes. Listen, if I could, I would. I remember just in detail watching this with my dad. My dad is an avid fan of SpongeBob as well. He literally, I will go home sometimes now, and he's just watching SpongeBob. If it happens to be on, like,
without kids, without nothing.
Just because it's on and it's hilarious. It is nonstop laughter. It is my humor. It is who I am. It is my DNA.
I will agree to that with the early seasons.
That's what we do. Yes.
The modern seasons, it lost its luster for me a long time ago.
I mean, I was probably watching it. So 99, I was probably watching it until about like 2007, 2008 is when I was maybe even a little bit before that. But yeah, I think the original writer passed away, or
no, Steven Hillenburg's still around.
One of the
he just doesn't work on the show anymore.
Maybe that's what it was. He passed away from
he left with the first movie.
Yeah. But so it's kind of been a little different in its newer stuff. The animation's different too, and some of that. But that naturally that happens. But anyway, this is a great pick. Love the Krabby Patty.
All right. Well, Andy, you're up.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I forgot. That was your pick, wasn't it? All right. So my next pick, this was brought up earlier, but it wasn't picked yet. And I'm going to Scooby-Doo, but I'm going for Shaggy's sandwich. I mean, there is no doubt in my mind that quadruple, quintupled stacker sandwich that whatever it is that he makes, 10 layers of a sandwich. And there's different iterations of it, right? Like there's the long sub, there's the giant stack one, but he's consistently making this sandwich. And we all know why he's making the sandwich that he's making, because he's under the influence of something. We know that. I lived a life before Jesus where those are probably the types of sandwiches I would make if I was in the same state that Shaggy was in. But regardless, even today, if those sandwiches are so comically large and you can't. Like, there's no way you can eat that. I mean, how do you even? What do you start on those things? But they look delicious, man. If I could just attempt to do that.
On one of the videos I saw, somebody made one. It was like a whole loaf of bread.
Yeah.
And then they tried to like squeeze it down. And it was still like this big. Like they just like and it got to like this. And when he took a bite, it was like he's like, I think I got 4 pieces of bread.
Yeah. So the thing is, it's impossible to eat, and I understand that. So like the reality of having that, but just from a cartoon food standpoint, these sandwiches.
And the best thing about a cartoon, like Shaggy's gullet, like he's skinny, right? He just opens up and just like shoves it right down.
Pez dispenser. He's a Pez. Yeah. He just shoves the
this guy.
Like zoinks, man, I'm hungry.
Wow, Scoob. Yeah. So the sandwich is going to be my link. This is so side note, I am a huge sandwich fan. I'm a big fan of sandwiches.
We were trying to do that as a show, and it didn't happen.
Yeah, the vast array of types of sandwiches.
Well, we still have 2 up in the air of what to do. Paul hasn't picked one yet, which we could do sandwich.
Yeah.
But
I love sandwiches so much.
I love sandwiches.
And I'll end my comments with saying this: hot dogs are not sandwiches.
No.
There we go.
No, they're tacos.
It's kind of a taco. It is.
It's more of a taco.
Bread.
But it's not a naco.
No, it's not.
No, it's definitely no naco. So when I think Shaggy sandwiches, because obviously we've done Scooby-Doo on Monster on a zombie island. We did that. And for one of the like off-brand shoot episodes we did for TAS or the animated series, we did Scooby Natural. Is where we have the world of Supernatural, went into the Scooby-Doo world, and the point where it's the main characters from Supernatural turned into the cartoons, and then I think it's I can't remember the character's name because they're gonna be like, I've watched a little bit of Supernatural. I find it funny, but apparently it went off the rails a little bit later, but it came back, whatever. But the fact to be like the amount of humor they use in this special of Supernatural is absolutely hysterical, where they are eating a sandwich with Shaggy, and it's like, hey, look at my mouth. I can eat this and everything. It's hysterical. Because if you use the cartoon logic, it makes sense. Right. Like, yes, you can make a huge sandwich here in the real world, and like, good night. It takes me 2 days to make, I make a sandwich because they're going to be like, I don't eat a lot anymore. So I will eat a sandwich,
not a problem for me.
Huh?
So not a problem for me.
Yeah. So for me, it's like, I make a sandwich. I might take 2 days to eat it. If it's that big, it's like, good night. That'll take me a month. And by the time it'll be moldy, be like, throw in the trash. Thank you very much. But we're using cartoon logic. It's like, yeah, no problem. Be like, you got a stretchy jaw. Be like, yeah, you're fine. Yeah, you can stuff a sub down your throat. Like, yeah, you can eat an entire buffet in under a few seconds. Fine, no problem. It's cool.
Yeah. Hey, what's up, DJ Y? See you in the comments. Stopping by for hellos. Love to see you here, man.
Artsy has a good comment. She says, animated foods, I gotta say, I want to eat the bacon and eggs in house moving.
Oh, yes. Agreed.
Yeah. And also, Artsy Steph, I have given you standard moderator, as I always do. You have a wrench now. Have fun and go and follow all our friends. So you're welcome here in this community. So
all right, so we are now to the Georges, right?
George, before we move on, I want to point out that the Shaggy sandwich was right below the Krabby Patty on my list of Benjamins.
Oh, okay. So we are taking your Benjamins away.
So
don't worry, I got plenty to pull from.
No, I'm sure.
So gotta get that list going. All right, so finish off your mountain, Drew.
All righty. So here's another little fun fact. My Washington for animated foods could double on a Rushmore list of video game items.
Oh, goodness!
Because it is the show I'm pulling this from is an adaptation of that said video game, which is Persona 4.
Oh.
And I'm pulling from Persona 4 the animation, that being the name of the show. And I do have to be specific because there's 2 shows. But this would be the Mega Beef Bowl Challenge from that show. The way it works in the game is it's an item you can get to raise your social stats when it's raining outside. But if you don't do it, if you aren't able to finish it, and I'm telling you, this thing is huge. It is like a salad bowl sized meat and rice bowl with an egg on top. I mean,
it's a 6 pound.
It is humongous.
Oh my
It is
God.
described in the game as being, as while you're eating it, you are entering the dimension of meat. So, yeah, the meat dimension.
Ooh.
The dimension of meat.
Yes, the
A 4th dimension.
in the show, it does actually the main character actually quotes the actual script from the game where when you fail, saying, "It takes understanding to accept it as a whole, knowledge to set the proper pace, courage to attack the mountain of meat, and dedication to keep on eating. All these skills are needed to finish the Mega Beef Bowl."
Nice.
Wow.
This actually got me to actually make a smaller version of this once with brisket and minute rice.
Nice.
I didn't have the egg on it. Yeah, that stuff was good. But I don't think I could finish the dimension of meat version.
Wow.
But yeah, the Mega Beef Bowl Challenge from Persona 4 the animation.
That
So
just sounds good.
yeah, if again, I keep coming to this guy. It's so interesting. If you guys haven't heard, and I'm not trying to promote. I mean, I'm not trying to not promote his channel. But Binging with Babish, and he recreates pop culture food items. He's a
I
chef.
wouldn't be surprised if he made this thing.
Look at it. He made it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, snakies.
One egg though. One egg on.
Yeah, well, that's all it had in the game was one egg.
Wow. You need like 3 or 4 per layer or something like that. And then you just bop.
Yeah, that looks amazing. That looks like absolutely. I would
Literally,
say
when y'all brought this up about us doing animated food, this was the first thing that came to mind.
Wow.
So I couldn't not put it on the list.
I love this big. I mean, you're educating me because again, like I said before, I'm not a big anime person, so I haven't seen a lot of these things. I feel like there's a billion of them out there, but yeah, this food right here, anime does appreciate and respect food for sure. You see that all. But wow,
Now, I will say,
I'm gonna ask my wife to make that this week. Like this is what I'm
I will say, if you go to watch the anime, be aware it is more for adults.
So
there's nothing immodest, but it is for adults.
Yeah.
My buddy Andrew plays that. I would eat that hashtag. Oh, brisket. I adore Babish, pop culture, game stuff, anime stuff. And one time a buddy of his made a full-blown gum fruit.
That's the fruit from One Piece that lets
One Piece.
Yuffie stretch.
Nice.
Awesome. This is an awesome pick. I have one Persona game. It's not that I didn't like it. It was different. And I really didn't get into it.
Yeah, admittedly, if Persona is not your thing, that's fully understandable because
So
they
I
are
have
long games.
Persona, it might be Persona 4, but it's on the Switch. And I
mean, they're all on the 3, 4, and 5 are all on the Switch now. So
okay, and so I got that, and or it might be 5 actually. I'm not sure.
Maybe 5, because that's the newest one.
Well, I have it right here, so I'll get it. Let's see which one it is. But
let's see if you're depressed, looking for the truth, or rebelling against evil adults.
Oh, it's Persona 5.
Yeah, rebelling against evil adults.
Persona 5. Oh, it's Persona 5 Strikers. Does that make a difference?
That's actually the sequel to Persona 5. So yeah, you are actually that game doesn't even tell you who these people are.
So I started playing and I was like, I'm just confused. So maybe that's why I need the other ones. So
that is actually a direct storyline sequel to the original Persona 5.
And I actually got this because I was at Dirt Cheap, I believe it might have been at, but it was like a couple dollars. So I was like, oh, I'll pick it up for a couple bucks. But
plus it's like based on Dynasty Warriors also. So
yeah, and it was a fun game. I played a little bit of it, but I was just kind of confused about storyline and where I was supposed to be going. But this looks fantastic. This food looks amazing. I would definitely eat that. Hashtag would eat that for real. 5 is the one with Joker. Okay, yeah.
Yes.
I'm learning. So I'm learning. But
not Mark Hamill's Joker.
You know who likes Persona, Andy, is Keith, Pick and Preacher.
Preacher, yeah.
We talked about him quite a bit. So, all right, man. So that's a great way to finish your mountain, and you with a mountain of meat.
Yes.
Jacob, you're up, man. Do you have a mountain of meat you want to share with us?
No, I don't have a mountain of meat. I never heard of that. I was like, bravo, good pick.
It's one of my possibilities I'm thinking of putting on our TAS list one day.
Oh, okay. I got you. So my Washington, this whole Great 4 up kind of arcs back to our childhood. Be like, I don't know about you, Kirk. Be like, when, what era was your childhood?
Kirk's the 80s. Kirk's 80s for sure.
I'm the 80s guy.
Okay, so you're 80s. Okay, so we're kind of in the same vein a little bit.
So I'm 46. Andy's 35, right?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So, yeah, because I'm 41 and Drew is.
I am still 38.
38. Okay.
For another. You guys were in between Andy and I.
Yeah. Okay. So, arcing back to like the early 80s, one of the most iconic shows are cartoons from the 1980s. Are you sure you know where I'm going?
I'm just guessing.
Okay. I'm curious if Drew's going to figure out.
I have a theory
of what show I'm going to go for.
A cartoon theory.
A cartoon.
Thanks for watching.
But no, be like the show I'm thinking of is something about robots in disguise. Yes, we're talking about Transformers. And what I'm referring to is Energon.
What? Yes.
Energon is a food. To quote the wiki, here. Let's see. It is preferred fuel energy for the Transformers, also shown as a food, an intoxicating drink, ammunition, and currency. More, it has been described as a basic building block of all Transformers bodies and sparks. So there are many depictions in Transformers in video game, primarily in the cartoon era. Be like, it started off as, it's the fuel, and then they expounded upon it throughout the generations of the Transformers. A show and a franchise that has never stopped, except for like little breaks here and there, but it hasn't stopped. Unlike, I don't know, Doctor Who for about 20 years, but nuance.
15.
Huh?
I think it was closer to 15.
15, but nuance. But Transformers Energon, be like, it's described as a drink. You can eat it. They'll be like, there's Energon snacks, because if you like Transformers the movie, which we have reviewed twice.
And because it's the whole reason the podcast
exactly
exists.
You know, it's like we went to go watch it in theaters. Like, yep, like we were so just ramping on this movie because I loved it as a kid. He liked it as a kid, so why not?
I didn't watch it till I was out of high school.
Oh yeah, it's true. Well, never mind.
I was too old for that time.
That is true, but it was so very dear to my heart as a kid. And I remember there's a scene in Transformers the movie where one of the Insecticons be like, "Oh, it tastes like Energon." So there's this idea that be like their entire world, their entire essence is built off Energon, including they eat it. And so I thought, it was like when it came to the pinnacle, what was the Rushmore, the top tier, the pinnacle of food, I kept thinking Energon, because at first I was like, no, it's only their fuel. I was like, no, they eat it, they drink it. It's an alcohol to them. Like, it runs through their veins. That's everything to them. Be like, either it's Energon or it's dark Energon. Be like, yeah, just like, it's one of those things. It was the first thing that came to my mind with this list. And like me and Drew were talking about one day after church, and I was like, wait a minute. Oh, I've got it. So it started, my list was starting with Energon. So that's fine.
Looks appealing. Artists have said looks like glowy jelly cubes.
Yes, it does.
Mm-hmm.
So as you're saying this, it looks like the thing like if there's things that I'm not supposed to eat that do look appetizing,
Mm-hmm.
you know, like, and again, I'm not advocating for this at all, but I mean, I understand the Tide Pod thing. Like, they look cool. They're colorful. They're whatever. This Energon cubes looks like, I probably shouldn't eat that, but if there was something I would eat, I mean, maybe so. Yeah, one of those things. And then Kirk's got look at that. There you go.
Oh yeah, from one of the very early episodes. I think that was in the first episode, actually.
Yeah, when you see them turn oil into Energon.
Yeah, that's what is basically, they were turning oil into Energon, and then it just turned into Energon. It's just everything.
And Energon sounds like that company.
One of my favorite Transformers making the cubes there.
Oh yeah, Soundwave.
Yeah, I love it.
Frank Welker, you're welcome.
One of the many voices Frank Welker did.
Yes.
So Transformers, iconic.
Yes.
You mentioned Transformers. Not one time would food have popped in my head. Because I didn't remember them actually eating anything. But now that you say it, I love this. Look, this is what this is what our show is for. To just peel back the nostalgia, talk about old times, and it's fun to chat about. It's not anywhere on my list, and Transformers is definitely one of my favorite cartoons. I am in the camp that cried when Optimus died. I've mentioned that on the show before. And I'm also in the camp that I think Michael Bay is widely scrutinized for no reason. It's his style of movies, and I don't mind them.
That's true.
That's just me. Adaptations are always going to be different, and
Agreed.
I'm okay with them. I love this, and you guys. This is a good comment for you guys. So some people hate when your childhood's messed with.
Agreed.
I love the opposite of that. I want you to mess with every bit of my childhood because I want you to keep bringing it back and reminding me. And if I don't like it, I don't have to watch it again. And then it doesn't like ruin my day. Like there's people out there that like, I can't believe they made that. They ruined Optimus Prime forever. No, they didn't. No, they didn't. Go back and watch the old one. You don't have to watch it. Like
they did.
Why is there this thing in your brain where it destroyed it all? I don't get that. That's just not
me either.
But just because it's been adapted differently than you like does not mean the old version was destroyed. And Jacob and I both are not fans of Velma.
Yeah.
That didn't destroy Scooby-Doo.
No. Be like
If anything, it made me want to go back and watch more old Scooby-Doo.
Yeah, because the idea, because I loved it how I think it was George Lucas said the fact, be like, you look at Star Wars itself, but like it was designed for kids to watch. Now, as a 40-year-old man, I still love Star Wars. Be like, you look at the new Star Wars, that was designed for younger audiences. You look at the new stuff that's coming out that is nostalgia, like the new Ninja Turtles or something like that. That is not my era of Turtles. Be like, yeah, I can like it. Be like, I may critique it, but it doesn't mean be like, oh, you're destroying my childhood. Absolutely not. Be like, if it was the case to be like, you would have to delete everything in the planet to say, oh, that never exists, is the only thing that existed. And be like, again, be like, I am a huge Thundercats fan. Huge. And
believe me, he is.
So when Thundercats Roar came out, the short, be like, I can understand where they were going with this. It's not my cup of tea. People ripped this a new one, saying how bad it was and destroying the franchise. I'm like, people, just go back to the 80s and you'll watch the TV show. Heck, be like, we reviewed Thundercats 2011. I absolutely love that show. It's so good. And when people say, oh my gosh, you're destroying my childhood.
Yeah.
Why? I completely agree with you, Kirk. It makes no sense.
I'd like to point out that when Thundercats Roar came out, During our first year of this show, of the Celcast, I mean, we both ripped that thing a new one because it was just for the fun of it. It was the running gag of the show.
It was, but it didn't destroy my childhood.
Right.
It's like I again agree. I agree with you, Kurt. It is the most ridiculous thing in the planet. You say because something new came out, destroy my childhood. You ruined everything.
Right.
Be like.
So the one thing that now this is not Transformers, but I will say this because we just came from the con with the Power Rangers, the newest, or I don't even know if it's the newest, but one of those newer Power Ranger movies absolutely just said, hey, forget the past. We're doing this whole everything different now. And I hated it, but it doesn't ruin.
I understand why you didn't like it. It's not my favorite, but at the same time, they probably put more thought into it.
So here's the thing, though, like
Power Rangers movie did.
Right.
And,
yeah, but
not to keep beating that horse, but here's the thing.
Let's just beat this horse.
What I love about the new stuff, the new Star Wars, the new Power Rangers, the new Ninja Turtles, the new Transformers, the new whatever, is that it's not mine.
Yeah.
It's for my kids to be entertained and to feel in that same vein. And a lot of it, the art, the jokes, the things are geared not to you.
Yeah.
They're geared to kids to revive it. And I can tell you, my kids, all of those franchises, they love them. But when I bring them up and say, hey, let's watch the original, they don't want to watch that, including Star Wars, which gets fought on. They want to watch the new ones. And that's just I get it. But that's a whole nother television show. Look, I'm sorry.
I have no room to talk. I grew up with Star Trek and
so
the original series, as much as I appreciate it, it's not my show. So
I'm sorry I keep laughing, but the faux pas of the mountain of meat, I can't stop laughing. And Andy put a private chat and said, never say that again. I can't.
I had to say it that way.
Oh my gosh! I just got it.
Oh
my gosh!
It's what Kirk said. It's how Kirk said it. Kirk said, "Do you have any of your mountain of meat to share with us, or whatever?" He said it. Never say that. Never.
I'd like to say I actually thought the mention was worse.
All right, so
it's
my
turn. It's what's for dinner.
Speaking of, don't mess with old things. You guys mentioned it several times today, and I'm shocked it hasn't got mentioned yet. At least in the 4 or the 3, because to me it's the most iconic food. It's the first one, just like you guys said, that popped in my head. Was let's go 1987. Artsy just mentioned it, but wise men say forgiveness is divine, but never pay full price for late pizza. Mm-hmm. I'm going with the Ninja Turtles pizza. And here's the thing. There's so many renditions. Michelangelo loves pizza. They all love pizza. Mikey always is the one chasing it. The lore says Mikey likes anchovies the best, which makes sense. But they do all kinds of things from whipped cream to, marshmallows, all these funny things. They do like pineapple on pizza sometimes. But Ninja Turtles is dude, I love Ninja Turtles. And I still love Ninja Turtles. I love the Michael Bay Ninja Turtles because I saw him come to life in a different way. And I just thought it was awesome with the special effects. The story was a little lacking, but so was the original if you go watch them. But here's the deal. I cannot think of the Ninja Turtles with, literally pizza. Pizza is everywhere. They got pizza shooters. Everything is pizza, and I love pizza, right? My kids love pizza. Everybody loves pizza. I'm going with the Ninja Turtles and their pizza as my George of food. And remember, I'm saying iconic. Krabby Patty and pizza, I could have interchanged them. My reason pizza wins over the Krabby Patty is just my age. If I were to be about 10 years younger or so, kind of like Andy, probably would have switched them. But to me, it's the most iconic food out there. And I like it. I like pizza a lot, and I do like anchovies. So there you go. I'm going with Ninja Turtles and the pizza.
So I'd like to point out Artsy Steph's comment that she just posted, the Krusty Krab pizza, because that's literally a Krabby Patty in pizza form.
The Krusty Krab pizza
is the pizza for you and me.
The Krusty Krab. I love that one.
Yes.
It's
not just a boulder; it's a rock. Our ancestors used to ride these things all over creation.
Well, let me just say this about your pick, Kurt, because I agree so much so. Dude, Cartoon Foods, the cheese pull on the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles pizza, that is what I think of food. You mentioned it too. The toys that they had, the pizza shooter toys, there's just everything artwork, everything that happened with the pizza. And it's funny because I prefer a pizza that's got a little bit more integrity to the crust. There ain't nothing. This is soup. They're eating like it's everywhere. But but it's so iconic and it is so like, oh my gosh, I need that pizza in my life, and I haven't had a pizza that quite to that level. Yeah, it's the most iconic food.
I had a shirt when I was younger. I think this might also be a part of it. But it was like a Ninja Turtle shirt, and it was pizza. It was like a pizza place. Yeah. And it was really cool. But I love pizza, man, and Ninja Turtles. But I'm glad you said it. But I can't believe you said it because I really thought you'd go Krabby Patty. And
I didn't for the pickles. That's why I did it. But I
did it all for the pickles.
Yeah.
The pickles.
I eat pizza every Wednesday since like 2018. So I mean, it's kind of part of my life now. And the Ninja Turtles pizza really is the most iconic one in my opinion. So yeah, I'm gonna go short with that, but it's a Rushmore. It's a fantastic pick.
Awesome. So that we finished off our mountains, great, and it's time.
Vader time.
It's Vader time. No, it's the other day. It's a stuffy, but it's all about the Benjamins. Time to play that beautiful bean footage. That's not what I was going to say, and I changed it to that because I was going a different direction. But here we go. We've had enough inappropriate things to say today, so I did it. So, so there you go. And if everybody's known us, we've already talked about what's in the news and changing that song. And I don't think we're going to. I don't know. It's a part of it.
Great song. You got to look past. You got to look past the horrific acts of that guy. But that song is cool. That beat's fun. Yeah.
So, anyways, now it's time for our Benjamins, which is our honorable mentions. Same thing goes. Drew, you're first. Then Jacob, me, Andy. Second round, it goes the other direction. Third round, back to the original. Fourth round, the other direction. So, Drew, you're going to get first pick and the last pick. This time, we can't say anything that's been mentioned or will be mentioned. So, it's kind of like a game. If you know something that others might want, you got to call them out. And I know Jacob only has 12 on his list. We could obliterate it if we figure out what the other 6 are or 8 are that he's doing. But and you've already lost a few, Benjamin. So have I. So have Andy. So let's see how this rolls. Drew, what's your first one that you think it just has to be mentioned today before we head out?
You can't talk about animated food without going to Pokemon and talking about Brock's jelly-filled donuts, a.k.a. actually rice balls, but the American dub called them jelly-filled donuts.
Wow.
Nice. Okay, another anime, dude. Another anime. Andy, that's all up in your space right there with the Pokemon.
I do love Pokemon. SpongeBob shaped me, and so did Pokemon. So it's a great pick.
All right,
Jacob, you're up.
Yeah.
All right, so this was a film that me and my wife were going to go watch in theaters for his 15th anniversary, but she wasn't feeling well, so we just sat home and watched the movie. It's called Coraline.
No,
so all the food that the other mother makes, because it all looks amazing. Because it's a temptation to order Coraline to come over to her side and then make her eyes buttons. So I thought, wow, that's amazing. Be like, one, it's animated very well, and you have this great temptation, like we all have with something like a sin comes in our lives, and be like, ooh, that's a great temptation. Like Coraline with that, and she had to fight against it, and she didn't want to be with the other mother. She wanted to be with her real mother. So yeah, the other mother's food from Coraline, not Caroline, but Coraline.
This movie scared the crud out of my oldest child, and my middle child tries to watch it in front of her as many times as she can.
Oh my gosh!
But I can tell you this: I don't remember food in that movie, and not because there isn't food. Just it's a cool movie, but I'm thinking of the movie, and I immediately am drawn to obviously the main part of that is the buttons of the eyes and her going through the door and all that stuff and that kind of stuff. I don't remember the food. I'll have to look it up. My turn.
It looks good.
I've got like 6 more that are just iconic that I need to be mentioned today. I was hoping some of you guys would steal some of them, but you haven't. And I'm not going to say this one because I'm pretty sure that'll make it to the end. That one will make it to the end. Actually, I think all 4 of these are going to make it to the end. So I'll start here with probably the one that none of these are getting picked. I'm going with 1981, the Smurfs, and I'm going with Smurf berries.
Oh,
okay. Nice.
Yeah. So Smurf berries are what? That's what the Smurfs were chasing the whole time, and Gargamel's trying to get them. And they're an imaginary raspberry / strawberry type looking berry that they always have. So there you go, Smurf berries.
Nice.
Andy, you get 2.
All right, so man, I got some bangers on here, and so many of them are not going to.
I have so many bangers. I'm hoping you pick.
So this one, let me just say this before I say my pick. I know why we're not changing the song for Benjamin's. We've been doing this for too long. We're a well-oiled machine, so we can't change anything. That was a horrible joke. Well-oiled, but anyway.
Oh, jeez.
You missed my.
I just caught what you were talking about.
Okay, good.
Jeez.
That was one person got it.
You missed my head tilt. Oh.
It happened in my head, and then I had
moving right along.
I had to say it anyway. Now that we're canceled, let me continue.
Wow.
And sorry. All right. So this is kind of going in Jacob's lane here of like food that you probably wouldn't pick. This was actually late in the game, and I was like, man, how can I get this in my top 4? And I couldn't. And it really is a nod to the person who drew this, because if you can make this look appetizing, you can just do anything. And I'm going to The Land Before Time, the Tree Stars.
Oh, okay.
Wow. Let me tell you. Something about how they animated it, and when like the water droplets were coming off of it,
gorgeous.
I was like, I've got to have that.
Freaking bugs and leaves, and he won't.
Exactly, the Tree Stars. Anyway, but like the sound when like Spike would munch on that thing too. Yeah. Like there's something about it too.
Underrated series.
I love Land Before Time. It's fantastic.
If you got younger kids, listen.
Yeah. Next pick, since I get back-to-back picks here, I'm not the only one. Look, thank you, Steph. That is what I'm talking about. That's a great one. I'm going to go probably the oldest, the furthest back Vinny pick that we've made today.
55.
I'm going what?
1955?
I'm going to the Flintstones. I'm giving those mammoth ribs, brother.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
Thank you. Nice. Thank you. I have that one on my list. Yes.
The mammoth ribs, dude. Those things, can you imagine chomping down on that stuff? I mean, it totaled his car, you know? Mm-hmm. How amazing is that? Yeah.
But I'm going to one-up you on the oldest.
Okay, go further back.
We're going on the oldest. Most of us know it from the revival in 1980. But this originally started in 1929. I'm going with Popeye's spinach.
Okay.
Yeah, I never bought into the Popeye propaganda because I still don't like spinach.
I have a can of Popeye spinach in my office.
I love spinach.
Oh wow!
And my daughter loves spinach, and I love the whole idea about this. Okay, I mean, I just love it. Like the idea, like they're trying to encourage to eat healthier. and he got strong. But I love the whole like wimpy to him. And then you got the burgers from I just love Popeye. And even better, and I didn't mention this. I should have mentioned this. I just thought about it talking through it. Robin Williams was Popeye.
Yes.
And he's my goat, bro. If we ever do actors, he's my goat. He's there. So, all right. You guys are up.
Back to you, Jacob.
All right. So it's going to another Disney film, Baguettes from The Princess and the Frog.
You mean beignets?
Beignets. That's what I meant to say. Beignets. Yeah, beignets. I'm sorry, beignets.
Oh, let me just say,
like you watch that scene because they went back and traditionally drew this movie, which I thought was she's just smother him with
being from New Orleans.
Yeah,
I approve. Some of my favorite coffee comes from Cafe Du Monde, but the beignets at Cafe Du Monde, the powdered toast, bro.
It looks good. I guess I have to come down to New Orleans and
funnel cake.
You need to go to New Orleans.
Basically, squared funnel cake with powdered sugar on it.
Mm-hmm.
When you come,
Ashley will not be able to eat it with you, though.
The trick is you have to wear all black when you go.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Nice.
That way you look like a ghost the rest of the day.
Yeah.
Or you look like you just came from a. Never mind. Okay, continue.
Oh my gosh!
I wasn't expecting this to be the nasty show.
Whoa!
You got back-to-back picks. I just can't stop, man. It's a curse.
All right.
Wow.
So I'm gonna
have to go with last week.
I'm gonna have to go with the gray stuff from Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah. Good.
Oh, yeah.
Good pick. Another Benjamin of mine. Good pick.
And then for my next one, the Ratatouille from Ratatouille.
Oh my gosh!
Went back-to-back picks from my Benjamins. That is.
Let me just say this: Ratatouille was going to be on my list just because simply the name of the movie is Ratatouille.
Mm-hmm.
But I've never had Ratatouille, and looking at it, I don't think I want it.
I think it's just stewed vegetables.
It is.
But
it's like squash and tomatoes and cucumbers and all kinds of like.
But it looks good.
Yeah,
I don't think I'd want it, but it looks good.
I will try it.
Drew, do you want a rat?
I don't turn down food, but if I'm looking at my
Remy,
this would not be in my top.
I will eat it if it's Remy because I know he keeps his paws clean.
Yeah.
Well, he's not really. Well, I guess he is at one point. Yeah, he is. He is direct.
So, all right, Jacob, back to you.
All right, so this is going to be a deep cut, definitely on our show. And granted, do I like this? No, it was animated terribly. It was it was part of our bad movie month.
Oh no, what are you bringing up?
The Vegetables from Leo the Lion.
Oh, I hate this movie.
I could not help myself. I was like, wait a minute.
At least you didn't bring up the Milk River.
Oh,
that's not what that was.
Oh my gosh. But it was like, I am not recommending anybody go see this film. Don't go watch it. It's terrible. Unless you were just morbidly curious to watch Leo.
And even then, watch it in bursts.
Yeah, watch it in bursts. It is terrible. It is a terrible movie. But I kept thinking, it was like, what was something bad? What could I make Drew cringe? Let's bring up Leo the Lion, the Vegetables.
This is the only movie we have unanimously rated 0.0.
Yeah, it was that bad. It was the fact to be like, he is a vegetarian lion. I'd be like, yeah, you have Simba who eats worms. But I was like, wait a minute, bro. Be like, no. Like Simba still got you, cut above the rest. But I'm thinking like this was absolutely a terrible, horrendous movie. But it was worth the cringe look on Drew's face when I said that. So yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you for the torture.
Yep.
All right. So I have about 5 left with 2 picks. There's one that is just super nostalgic that I'm going to, actually, they're both nostalgic. And I'm going to go with this one first because the last one is kind of like the Bugs pick. All right. Similarly. But it's going to be a fun pick. This one is one of my favorite Disney cartoons of all time.
Okay.
Very underrated in my opinion. It's another berry. I'm going with gummy berry juice from the Gummy Bears.
Gummy bears.
Oh, yeah.
There you
I
go.
was just thinking that.
It's what gave them their superpowers. It made them bouncy, and they got super strong. This is, Andy, this is the one that I can actually think of that I want it to taste.
Okay.
Yeah, agreed.
I want to drink. I want to know what gummy berry juice tastes like.
Nice.
For sure.
All right, so I get back-to-back picks. My last two. Okay, I'm going to go Disney, and I'm going to go Mulan, the kanji from Mulan.
Good pick. Good pick.
It's really good. The fact that it's in a face and it's 2 eggs and the bacon, and that looks really good. And then my last pick, man, I think when it comes, I really, gosh, how we got this far without mentioning this is just beyond me. And I'm part of that, not mentioning this.
There's some more that really need to be named.
I'm going to The Simpsons. The pink donut, man. The donuts. Donuts. Yeah, this is just.
And I wasn't mentioning it because I'm not that kind of fan.
I love The Simpsons. I think it's fantastic. But
as far as iconic, this was number one on a lot of people's list. And this is the one I was talking about earlier when I said it's as long as running as SpongeBob. So yeah, absolutely. All right, my turn. This is kind of the bugs because it's different and it's weird and nobody probably thought of this, but I thought of it because of one reason only. My son dressed as this for Halloween. I'm going with the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
Oh, nice. I didn't think of that.
But he's a being. He's a being. You're going to eat him?
Yeah. Energon.
He's made of marshmallow.
Bugs.
Have you seen Ghostbusters Afterlife? The little marshmallow man.
Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. Going to finish off my list because I wanted to name him and it was fun. There's some other iconic ones though that need to be out.
What about Ecto Cooler?
Ooh, I
was
almost
not
named that.
seen in the show,
but it's iconic to the brand. So.
Yeah. All right, Jacob, your last pick. What you got, Jacob?
Oh my gosh, I have 3 left, and it's more what do I pick out of this? So for me, I'm just going back to an anime. But I don't think I've. Anyways, mine would be the amount of going to Inuyasha. This was a show that I enjoyed, even though it'd be like, oh, it's a girls' show. Be like, I don't care, it's cool.
It's a samurai show.
It's a guy who's a dog with dog ears and a big samurai sword. Okay, it's cool.
It's the original isekai.
Yeah, you're not kidding. Go into a different world. Hey, blah blah blah. Sit point out. Anyways, so it's all the food that Kagome brings her to the other world, the past, or whatever. But it's so funny because you have all these characters who are like bento boxes and chips and this and this, all these amazing snacks. And like these people are all the characters are stouted. Oh my gosh, all this amazing food. Well, it wasn't that hard to make, blah, blah, blah. Because it was just so funny. And I want to make like a small mention of another, if may I? Chocolate chip cookies, Cookie Monster.
No.
Yeah.
Would you believe you actually took one of my last ones, but I
Really?
still have one.
Really?
Yeah, because Cookie Monster was one of those.
Oh, okay. You're welcome.
But that's okay because I wasn't going to mention it anyway.
Oh, okay.
My last one technically has already been mentioned twice in chat. Both Artsy Steph and Geek Devotions have mentioned this. And
is this
Geek
it?
Devotions now, you no longer have to riot. Because it is the breakfast cooked over Calcifer, the fire demon from Howl's Moving Castle.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. That's a good one.
And boy, that is a delicious
No rioting. No rioting. Thank you. We appreciate that. Hey, well, look, man, that's our show. And just to throw this out there, fun fact, this is the longest show we've ever done. 2 hours and 43 minutes talking about cartoon food. You would have never sold me on that one. But we're here, and that's
me and
are.
Jacob don't know how to shut up. So.
No.
And I'm going to be honest, one of the reasons is maybe that you guys don't know how to shut up. But the number 2 thing is we do really enjoy you guys, your company, and hanging out with us, and we've had a blast. Let me just tell you guys kind of what's coming up. It's Thanksgiving week coming up next. Our whole family's supposed to be on. We don't have a topic yet. And honestly, half the family don't even know they're going to be on, but they're going to be on. And so that's next week. We have Hammie and Son. They were in the chat earlier. He's doing burgers. We have Paul coming on. We don't have a topic for Paul yet, but he wants to be on. And then we have a couple other things. happening, and video games is on deck, man. It's on deck for January, February, and our list of video game creators is, I mean, I don't know if there's another show that's got better guests than we do. So I'm just going to throw that out there. Lots of really good people like Mort's Garage just hit 30K yesterday or the day before. RNG Gamer, Feral Inferno, Super Retro Force, Retro Rob. The list goes on. So many people. Bryce, which I haven't seen tonight, but he's usually in the chat. Can't wait to share that with you guys. And then we're already booking, man. Listen, if you want to be on the show, Artsy, you're welcome to come on the show. Anybody out there that wants to come on the show, we said Zach. We just need a topic, and we got to nail you whenever you want to figure out what that day is. So it depends on the topic. So with that being said, thank you guys for hanging out. Thank you for being around. Oh, I did have one more pickup, by the way. We got some Chiefs cards as well, Andy, that you didn't get to see. But we knocked those out for Canon.
2.5 hours to see Chiefs cards. Dang.
Well, wait. But, I mean, we did get – time out. We did get Joe Burrow, which playing LSU.
Back when he was good, man. No,
and he did get Derek Thomas.
Nice.
Alabama.
Roll Tide.
But he got 2 of the GOAT. So, anyways, this has been fun, boys. Again, if you want to hang out and again with us over on your show, we'd love to come over and talk.
We'll set something up.
Oh yeah,
SpongeBob the movie, or whatever. But yeah, Artsy, thanks for being here. Zach, thanks for being here. All the friends, there's 6 still left hanging around. Geek Devotions. Roy, if you're still out there, we love you. And Andy, you have anything else you want to chat about?
No, nothing else.
No. We're talked out. Hey, Jacob, Drew, we love you guys. We support you guys always. We are this is the first time being said, Andy, we are going to officially in January move the show completely to Thursdays.
Yes.
And because it keeps interfering with some of our friends that are out on Fridays. So now anybody out there can watch us here on Thursdays, watch Jake and Drew, and anybody else that want to jump on. That was almost like Jake and Drew. Anyways, and be a part. So we keep moving our Fridays to Thursday. We thought it just would be best. So we'll be moving that to Thursdays completely. If you look at our thumbnail, it still says Friday because that's what we do. But yeah, that's it. Andy, time to tell everybody good night. Oh, last thing, Jake or Drew, tell them where they can find you two.
Celcast Podcast. The Celcast Podcast at Podbean. I can't even talk.
Celcast Podcast at Podbean.com.
The Celcast.podbean.com. That's what I'm trying to say. I was combining it with my email
like
address.
An artist if you want to like an artist.
Yeah, and then join me on the Celcast Gaming on Monday nights for game streams.
And go buy merch.
Always buy merch.
Yes.
And
whether it's our merch or Rushmore merch.
Patreon.
Yes,
I assume Rushmore has merch.
Yeah.
Well, we have one shirt and we have one sticker, but we need to make that better. But yeah.
We're not much better.
Yeah.
You need a design. Artist,
Andy.
I can do that.
Hey, maybe.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm all over that. Andy, tell everybody good night.
All right, well, let's say goodnight like we always do for the 5 people still hanging out. For those that are watching later, this is the Rushmore Show where it's all about your top 4.
And nothing more.
Peace.